Hey everybody, this is Mike with the CatchAll. I'm back for another episode. This time I have my buddy Mike Samson on today. He is a local journalist here based out of Selah, and we're just going to kind of let him introduce himself and get into it.
Hi guys, my name is Michael Samson. I'm a local journalist who's done work for the Selah Journal, Yakima Valley Business Times, and the Toppenish is Review Independent. I was born in Portland, Oregon, but I've lived in Selah practically my whole life. Moved here from Woodland when I was 5, and I've just been chilling and enjoying the desert ever since.
It's pretty hot over here. When did you say you moved over here?
I moved over here when I was I moved 3 days after I was born in Portland, and then we went to Woodland, and then we stayed there until I was 5 years old and moved here.
Oh, okay, cool. So you pretty much born here and raised here, basically.
Your
most entire life. How old are you?
27.
27. And did you graduate from Selah?
Yeah, I finished the rest of my schooling online.
Okay. But
yeah.
You're Selah.
Yeah.
Guy. Okay, cool. And then I actually know your sister. Went to school with your sister, Sam. Yeah. And then we worked together at Ray's. Great experience there. Great experience with Ray's. So you and I worked together. I think it was probably, I don't know, maybe my third year. Was it Ray's by then, or was it Red Apple still?
It was Ray's. I think it was this is around 2019, 2020.
Yeah, so it must have just changed over to Ray's. And then I was like the manager or one of the floor managers or whatever.
Yeah.
And man, those days, I kind of miss them sometimes. Like working with the people. But I don't miss the job at all. Yeah. I hated that fucking job.
Working retail is one of those things that sucks in the moment, but you romanticize it in your head later.
Yeah, because you're like, man, you meet a lot of cool people or potentially cool people. Some of the people you work with overall tend to be pretty cool because you guys are all suffering together, you know, with the whole, customer's always right type of situation. And then, of course, working holidays and stuff is always kind of a shitty deal when people come in and they're like, hey, sorry you guys have to work today. And it's like, well, I want to be working if you weren't here kind of thing, So do you have any favorite times or memories from Ray's maybe?
Oh, yeah. A lot of stuff that would probably make me sound like a degenerate slacker, but there were some good times there for sure. The people there, like you said, were the best part of working there.
Yeah.
Like Eric, Galen, you, Beatrice.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Galen in a long time, but I see Eric still works there, and I still go in and give him shit. And I've talked to him about coming on eventually, but he's always so busy, and he works I think weekends too now. So, and I work during the week, so it's kind of hard to get him on a day where maybe I have some time or he has some time. But then again, he's got his own thing going. He likes to go fishing.
Oh, yeah, dude. If he's not working, he's at a river or lake somewhere.
Have you talked to him lately?
Not in a while. I don't think I've talked to him since I quit.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so he's, right now, he's collecting, lizards and spiders and shit like that.
Oh, that's badass.
It's kind of cool, actually. He'll show me a picture, and he's like, yeah, I got this he got a scorpion or maybe a couple, and he's got, spiders and, lizards and stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, man. I've always wanted to, when I was a kid, get into that. Maybe older now I can do it, but I never have done it yet. And I've watched him do it, and I was like, that's kind of cool. He'll send me Snapchats or he'll post on his story or whatever. I'm like the other day he had to get a scorpion, and you can see the little babies on the inside. And I was like, that's pretty dope.
Oh, dude, that's sweet.
Yeah. But I think my wife would kill me if I brought home a scorpion or a snake or something.
You just have to start off with the non-venomous ones.
I'm going for a fish, a little fish. Well, Xander, his birthday's coming up in September, and we asked him what he wanted for his birthday, and he wants a fish. So
that's pretty low maintenance. Most boys, I think boys his age. How old is he?
He'll be 6.
Oh wow, time flying, man.
Yeah, time flying. Remember when he was just born? Yeah. Took some time off, and now he's fucking 6.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, whoa, that's your boy?
Yeah, and then my youngest, he's upstairs taking a nap. He'll be 2 in August, and their birthdays 10 days apart.
Oh, that's fine.
They're 4 years apart, but they're 10 days apart on birthdays. So it's 1 weekend's his birthday, 1 weekend's the next birthday. It's fuck.
God damn, no break, dude.
That's all right. But, when they're young like this, we could probably just push it together and do it on one day, and they won't really care. But when they get a little older, they're going to want their own birthdays. So, but Xander's theme this year is like, he wants to do like nations of the world. He's really into like countries and flags and stuff like that. He's super smart. When we're done, you can ask him a couple questions about like, I'll do it. I'll show him like a flag from a different random country, and he'll tell you exactly what country it's from. It's cool.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, he's only 5, and he knows how to play like piano and already. Like I brag about him all the time. I'm bragging now, but I brag about him all the time because I'm super proud of him. And I didn't teach him shit. He just learns it. He's a sponge, dude. He absorbs shit. We're doing Nation of the Flags or Nations of the World or whatever with him. And my idea was like, hang up like the little banners that have like the flags on them and do like a table cover or whatever. And then I was thinking about doing like maybe a couple little hors d'oeuvres from different countries.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like maybe like chips and salsa from like Mexico. And then like maybe like I don't know, like some type of Italian type appetizer or something, and then maybe like a dessert from another country or something. I don't know. Just kind of give it like around the world. Like keep with the theme.
Is he still in like the bologna sandwich kind of phase of his like his tastes as a kid, or is he?
No, he actually doesn't. He doesn't really like meat that much.
Oh, really?
He's more of like a fruit and veggie. He eats fruits. He eats veggies. He loves vegetables, and then he eats fruits too. Like right now, like I brought those apples earlier because he wants apples today, so we're doing apples. But he really likes fruits, veggies, and he's really into like his mom made him a Nutella and banana like sandwich thing, but with like a tortilla, so like a wrap.
That sounds
and
cool.
He's so into those right now. It's crazy.
Try frying them, covering them in cinnamon, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that sounds good to me, man.
Then you can start replacing like different fillings, like apple.
Yeah. I mean, he does like fruits and stuff. He does like chicken fries from like Burger King, but like when we buy like the frozen ones and cook, he was like, "These aren't the same."
No,
like, well,
they're never the same.
They're not the same, but I can't drive all the way to Burger King every time you're hungry.
It's not authentic unless it's made by an underpaid worker.
Well, of course, yeah. If it's made by a 16-year-old guy that's making below minimum wage, then of course it tastes great.
You need the human suffering element.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it adds a little flavor. It's probably the tears. The tears had some saltiness. But yeah, he's been doing that. And then Lux boy, he's not even 2 yet. He just said 1, 2, 3 the other day. So he's learning to talk, and he's just a happy kid, man. He likes going outside. Anytime he can go outside, he's outside. Xander, he can be inside all day as long as he's got his books or his encyclopedias or his piano or he's doing something. If not, he likes going outside too. But he's all like in the Legos a lot too. And he just did like good. Lego camp this week. And he had a lot of fun. So, anyways, back to just rambling on. So you said you started doing doing journalist with Selah.
Yeah.
Toppenish. Mm-hmm. And what was the other one?
Yakima Valley Business Times.
Oh, okay, cool. How'd you kind of get into that? Like,
so how it started was, like any good story, it starts with nepotism. Mm-hmm. My sister was doing graphic design work on the side for the editor and owner of the Selah Journal.
Okay.
And one day, like, he was just ranting in his office about how he wished the Selah Journal had some Seahawks content.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my sister just kind of threw my name out there because, like, I'd written before, but I've never like written like professionally. Like, I just write kind of as a hobby.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she tells me, like, okay, throw something together. You have, like, until tomorrow morning to turn it in. So I just, like...
This is like a last minute, like, hey.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, oh, shit. Okay. So I just threw together this, like, really shittily written, like, top 10, like, list. Yeah. I don't even remember what the article was. It was, like, top 10 reasons why the Seahawks will be good this year or something.
Yeah.
They weren't. But
they're kind of good every once in a while.
Yeah, they have enough success to where, like, you're not miserable like a Jets fan or a Bears fan, but not quite good enough for you to, like, be supremely arrogant like a Patriots fan or Chiefs fan now.
Some of like the Raiders guys or what was his name? What was the guy's name that was a 49ers fan that we worked with?
Must have erased him from my memory.
I can't remember. He used to work with him. He was a 49ers fan all through and through, and he'd always talk shit. Anyways, back to that.
So, I wrote this thing as fast as I could. Well, and I spent as much time as I could, like, because it was already like 7 p.m. by the time she told me about this, and I needed to have it in like by like first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I wrote as fast as I could, did as much editing as like my tired brain would allow me to. And if I recall correctly, like I got a call from Sam the day later, and it was on the front page of their sports section.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. So
nice.
Beginner luck for sure.
Yeah.
And after that, he gave me a call, and we kind of just negotiated like me doing like a monthly Seahawks column.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, like it spread out from like just exclusively doing sports to like doing business stories.
Okay.
Stories on like local events like the Toppenish rodeo.
Yeah.
And after a couple years of that, one of the freelance writers at the Business Times left at an inopportune time, so they needed like a quick replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I showed him some of my work. It was rough then,
mm-hmm.
but they gave me a shot anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ended up working out.
Heck yeah, man. That's always good. Like when you do something, you kind of put a little bit of effort into it, and then it just kind of works out. You know, it's kind of cool. Do you enjoy doing it?
There are elements of it I like. I would say that being able to highlight like small business owners who are putting everything on the line to start up their business and pursue their dream.
Yeah,
those are the stories I actually love doing.
Yeah, the underdog.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and like highlighting local events and stuff, you know, because I feel like it contributes to like the culture of Selah and Yakima when you can like bring these people up, let people know about them, make the events bigger.
Yeah, I've said it before. Like we are the culture in this area. You know, you, me, our businesses, our events, our people. Like we're the culture. So why not celebrate it and embrace it?
Exactly.
Right?
If you're going to be a member of the community, man, work to make that community better and more exciting, more
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got people that try to destroy the community, which is whatever, but that's a whole nother thing. But I think it's cool because, like, I didn't know about this, but my wife told me about it. They do like there's a band that goes around and plays around town, and they did something like last weekend or 2 weekends ago down in Carlin Park. Or was it Carlin Park or Wixon Park? Wixon Park. And it's just like a local band that they don't get paid or anything. They just come up and they play music, and they were doing like 4th of July. So they were doing like more patriotic songs and stuff. And then they had like different members of any military branches that happened to be in the audience, like stand up so we can like, and they were playing like their theme for like the Navy or the Army or the Air Force.
The Marine Corps, yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, we were all just, you know, clapping and stuff. And they had like the shaved ice place here in Selah down there. So, you know, people can get shaved ice and whatever. And Xander loved it because he loves music. So he's listening to the band. He's watching like, you know, the brass and the woodwinds and stuff. And he's just listening to them like just be a band. And then obviously we're eating snow cones, so he's like all excited, you know, or shaved ice, I mean, but he's all excited. And then there's toys there, so we were playing. But yeah, it was cool. You know, it wasn't very long, you know, and a lot of people were like, oh, it sounds like fun, but I don't have the time. And it's like, bro, it's like an hour and a half.
Those are the best types of events. You just stop by for a little while, chill, get a snow cone, dip out. Like,
yeah, you don't really have an hour and a half on a night. Like, I get it. A lot of people are busy.
Yeah.
But like we made it a point to try and like at least show face. Not for anybody, but just ourselves. To show face and just like show them that we support them.
Yeah.
And they're local. They're putting their things out there. Unpaid, might I add. So it's just a hobby of theirs or a passion of theirs. And they're doing it for the community. So why not go support them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds fun. And it was fun. I had a good time.
And you meet a lot of really cool people that way too.
Yeah, you know, Xander met a new friend, a little kid that was playing, and holy shit, they were like a match made in heaven. Xander can name all the countries in the world and their flags, and this kid was telling us everything about math. He was a math nerd, man. He was like, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 8. And he went all the way up to like, I don't know, 1,000 something. And this kid's like, I think the same age, if not younger than Xander. And then there's like adults that don't even know that. Oh, so yeah. It's like, he's like, I'm a human calculator.
Oh yeah, like me. That kid's smarter than me at math already.
He's smarter than me at math. I did pre-calculus in high school, and I don't know none of that shit anymore. I couldn't tell. I don't use it. I don't use it.
Do you remember like years and years of your teachers being like, you're not going to carry a calculator in your pocket?
And now we have an entire laptop and a
basically.
computer in our phone in our pockets.
You have a computer that's stronger than basically anything from like 2005 or before.
Yeah. You can watch video, you can play games, you can FaceTime people, I mean, a lot of people forget the phone's an actual phone. You know, they're like, oh, this thing, you can talk to people on this thing? What?
Like, and you're like, and when they do call you, like, why the hell are they calling me? Just send me a text.
Right. It's like my wife, she'd rather text than talk. And so is my sister, she'll rather text than talk, but I'll call her just because like, well, not only do I want to talk to her, but like, I know like sometimes she's like, oh, why the fuck's he calling me? I could just say like, hey, we'll be there in a second or whatever. And I'll call her like, hey, we're on our way. And she's like, oh, why can't you just, just because I know it bothers her, but I love her to death. So I do
it's all good fun.
Yeah. I do it just because I have to. It's my job. It's my job as a brother to do it. You know?
Exactly.
So, but anyways, so you have been writing for them for how long now?
The Selah Journal. I started in like 2018, mid 2018, and I think for the Business Times, I want to say like late 2021.
Okay.
Early 2022.
So like about 6 years and then 3 years.
Yeah.
What about the Toppenish?
Basically the same amount of time as Selah, because same owner for both.
Oh, okay. So they just kind of like you make one article and it goes to both, does it? Or
for some things, like unless it's like a Toppenish based business or a Selah based business, then it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But like sports or something general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool. Compensation pretty decent.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The only you can do as many articles as like they have room for, really. As long as they're interesting.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes it kind of hard to do it as like a full-time career is oftentimes like when you try to reach out to people for like a story and like a business owner, like naturally they're extremely busy people. Yeah. So they might agree, like if you can't even reach them, they might agree to one date and then something unexpected pops up and they have to delay it like until the next issue comes out. And a lot of work falls through that way. So
yeah. And you can't really do something like, you can't have an interview and then wait like 2 months to release it because something might have changed in the meantime, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it has to be fairly fresh.
Yeah, there's certainly been times where like, we just opened our business and then like 3 months go by and it's not so much new news anymore. Like the Yakima Herald picks it up, someone else picks it up.
Right.
And then it's like, lost it.
Right. Can't really, I mean, you're just beating a dead horse at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to kind of like do like maybe like a review or something on the business, but maybe not like hey, this just opened in your town. Like go and check it out and support them or whatever. And this is what it's all about instead of, but at that point you'd have to like, hey, I've been there. This is what they do. I like if it's like a food place, for instance, like I suggest this or whatever, you know, kind of whatever. I don't know how those guys report it, but on when you report stuff, do you kind of get like a little more personal with like the owners or anything?
It kind of depends on the story. Like some people are going to be naturally more personable and like go deeper with you in their personal lives than others.
Oh, okay.
And like some stories, there's like if there's a cool like emotional thing that happened to them, and then like we had I remember we had one story. It was like a Thai restaurant. I forget the name of it currently, but the owners the owners are a really nice couple, mm-hmm. and the wife was born I think in Thailand, and she was like her parents were murdered, or her father was murdered, and she was like essentially raised in a Buddhist temple.
Oh shit!
And she learned all of her cooking from like what the Buddhist monks taught her to make for like festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
So everything she makes, it's like it's
like straight up authentic.
Oh yeah,
Buddhist cuisine. Yeah. Essentially.
And that's in Yakima, dude. Like
wow.
You don't have to go to Seattle. You don't have to travel to like some huge city just to get like, there are cool people doing things here.
Yeah. There are a lot of cool businesses here in this small little town. Yakima, you know, Union Gap's really blowing up when it comes to businesses. I mean, they just opened Texas Roadhouse, or it's opening here soon.
Yeah.
And then we got plenty of small little businesses here in Selah. I mean, and they come and go, obviously, as as it happens, the economy is kind of shit right now. So
Yeah,
people are taking a huge risk trying to open businesses right now, but they're trying to pursue their dream. Or try and find some type of financial stability that they think they might work, Obviously, the one thing I never understood, especially here in Yakima, is how there's so many successful Mexican restaurants.
I mean,
we have a huge Hispanic community, and I understand that, but you can only make tacos so many ways.
That's true.
And we have 2 Italian restaurants. We have a shit ton of burger places. I guess you can use that argument that we have so many burger restaurants, so why wouldn't it? But I would love to have some more flavor, maybe some Irish or German or something like that. Because I get tired of having a burger or taco.
Yakima used to have a really good French restaurant called the Carousel.
Oh, my wife and I loved going there, bro. Yeah. We would go there on Valentine's Day because it's a little spendy, you know. Yeah. It's a 5-star or whatever the hell you want to rate it. But we would go there Valentine's Day and then our anniversary. I'd always get the duck.
Oh man,
it's the first time I ever had duck, and holy shit, it was
exquisite, dude.
Money. Yeah, nice little medium rare duck breast with the skin on still, so it's got the little crisp. And then they put a peppercorn sauce on top of it over some potatoes and some local, in season vegetables. I'm assuming asparagus or something at the time. So we tried that. We used to get the filet mignon, and then I tried the duck one time, and I was like, "Fuck, I ain't going back to the filet mignon. This duck it just melts."
Yeah, dude.
But then they closed down.
I know. I think was it COVID that killed them?
I would assume so. COVID killed so many businesses, especially in this area. So a lot of those people think business, but if you can't get people to come in because they're so afraid of going out, then you can't really do anything unless you can somehow adapt.
Yeah.
And they weren't offering takeout or anything like.
And that's not a slight against them. It's really hard to if your whole shtick is good cuisine, fanciful, higher echelon cuisine. You don't want to package it in a fucking
a to go.
Just throw in some tinfoil. Here you go.
Yeah, in one of those to go plastic or styrofoam containers.
French onion soup just dripping out the bottom of your bag.
Well, it's a whole experience. We would go there and they have French music going on. The lights would be a little dim, and the people were. The waiters or waitresses, the staff was really friendly and very accommodating when it came to certain things. Like me, I have a seafood allergy. They have seafood there. They're very accommodating on, making sure that I don't die while I was in their establishment. So
the mark of a good restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a really good spot, and it was just really good atmosphere. We had never been there before, and we decided to try something new. Went there and fell in love with the place. I wish we could have gone there more often, but with the kids and money being tight, especially owning a house and fucking buying, paying off your cars and all that other shit,
adult expenses.
It's just the normal adult life, paying for shit. Couldn't afford it all the time, so we saved money for special occasions and do stuff like that. Not just that, there's other things that we do, but on a date night or anniversary or something something special, we would go do stuff like that.
Did you ever get to try the escargot there?
No.
Oh, dude.
So here's the thing. I don't know if I'd ever eat escargot. Here's the thing. I've read, and I was contemplating on even trying it because I don't know. Because I'm like a snail. People do eat weird shit. To me, it's weird. Other people, they're like, it's normal, Yeah. But I did some research, and it could have been flawed how I came to my conclusion. But apparently, if I have a seafood allergy, because they are technically in a shell, they have some of similar proteins.
Oh.
So I could potentially be at risk of having a reaction. So that was one of my main reasons I never tried it. But then I don't think I would have been able to just eat a snail either.
There's the yuck factor for you.
Yeah, so there's the yuck factor, which is weird because I don't mind stuff in well, I used to when I could eat stuff. You know, I've had shrimp, I've had crab, I've had lobster and all that stuff when I could eat it. But now I'm like, yeah, they're just big water bugs. Yeah. You know, that people pay a lot of money to eat.
In the 20s, they used to be seen as lobsters and stuff. They were disgusting. Like they would feed them. The British would feed them to their prisoners from like the 1700s, the 20s.
Yeah,
and they were
poop food.
Yeah, they would complain about it, and like they successfully like lobbied to be fed lobster less in the prisons.
Yeah,
and then by the 20s, it becomes such a cheap source of nutrition that it was starting to get overfished, and then the rarity made it get like, oh, the rich are like, rare delicacy.
Yeah, so it's not as readily available, so now it's a little harder to get, and then so they put a price tag on it,
which just goes to show, you know, like make any like you put either like a real or an artificial like a rarity on something, then people are gonna have a taste to it just because it's yeah.
So if you made like say like I don't know, a specific apple, for instance, because we have them plentiful here.
Oh, yeah.
But if we made like a specific apple, you know, where we only made one orchard of them, growing them, we could put a premium on that specific apple and sell them at a higher price because we're the only place in the world that grows these. And they only grow on one orchard in one spot in one town in Yakima, you know, and they're $60 a pound. And people, you know, some of those rich guys would be like, I had a Washington, whatchamacallit, apple salad today. You know, it's an $800 salad. It's like you morons are spending money on poop.
Oh, man. It reminds me of this historical anecdote. It's embarrassing I can't remember the specific historical figure's name, but it was one of the early kings of Prussia, that region in Germany. And like he had wanted to grow potatoes because it was a cheap source of nutrition, easy to grow. And like his people, they were facing some kind of a hunger famine at the time. But nobody would touch him because they were thought of as disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, and so, they go on the ground.
Like first, he tried to market him, be like, "Look at this, a fantastic new vegetable." But people wouldn't. They were like, "Ew, no, it looks like shit. It's growing out of the ground. It's all brown. What do you want?"
Yeah.
And so instead, allegedly, he decided to take all the potatoes off the market and grow them in this like specific patch of like the royal garden or farm.
Yeah.
And he would hire guards to like pretend to guard it. And like the peasantry, they would have figured, okay, if it's worth guarding, it's worth stealing.
Yeah.
So these guards would like look the other way, like as like these peasants came in to steal these royal potatoes, and they became such a phenomenon after that they finally got widespread use.
Wow, isn't that silly?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad they did because I love potatoes.
I would say, yeah.
I love fries. I love baked potatoes. I love wedges. I love chips. So I'm all for the potato being a popular item.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just imagine. I wonder how many other foods that we like turn our nose up to, or maybe, you know, maybe don't even experience because of say similar. You know, thoughts behind like, oh, we would never eat that. That's disgusting, you know, and then all of a sudden it becomes like this rare delicacy or rare delicacy. And then all of a sudden people are, I wonder what, if there's anything else like that in the world. I'm assuming there is.
I mean, sure. Like what if deep fried like cockroaches are delicious? We don't know.
I've never eaten a cockroach.
You wouldn't try it?
Maybe like if I was starving, I might. I know bugs and the whole, you know, conspiracy shit about them wanting us to eat bugs or whatever. Yeah. I know for a fact that bugs are really high in different proteins and nutritional value and stuff. It's just the fact that they just crawl around on poop all day and people just don't want to eat them. I mean, not all bugs do, you know, but you know, it's just like the stigma that bugs are just gross little animals and we don't eat them. We just kill them and, you know, and flush them down the toilet, throw them in garbage or, you know, whatever it is. But obviously there's some bugs that are cleaner than other bugs. Like you want to eat like a fly because it lands on shit and it eats decomposing, rotting carcasses and stuff and maggots and stuff like that. But there's also places in Europe that have like the rotting cheeses that have maggots inside of them.
Like mold and stuff. Yeah.
And then people eat that because it's fancy or it's like, or a delicacy, you know, or like what was it? Goose liver.
Oh yeah,
frogwa or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, where they like purposely like force feed the duck until like its organs are like failing.
Yeah, shit like that. And I think that's more of like a, I think that more has come down to morality rather than like the the actual eating it. I think it comes down to like, oh, that duck suffered, so I can eat this fucking. It's poop, basically. It's dying liver, or rotting liver. Is it? It's liver, right? Frog one? Is it frog one?
I think so.
I think it's liver, or maybe it might be a nutsack. If I don't know. But yeah, some of those foods, man, I don't know. Like, there's things that I would try. Like, I would probably try a couple different things, but there's things that like it'd be more like a mental thing, like Rocky Mountain oysters. Like a mental thing, I don't know if I could put someone else's ball sack in my mouth, but they might be fucking delicious.
Maybe if it was like plated right, like you cut like the sack into like little, like an egg, like when you're slicing an egg and you like fan it out, put a little like.
If I were to try it and didn't know what it was, and then maybe someone told me afterwards, I mean, obviously, if I enjoyed it, I wouldn't throw up. Be it for the fact of, because I'm like, well, obviously it wasn't that bad. I'm not much of a texture guy, but to an extent, I guess I'd have to be a texture guy too. But it's more taste.
Yeah,
it's more taste. If it tastes like shit, I'm not gonna want to eat it. Obviously. So, but I don't know. But people eat them. And in some places they really like them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird, man. Like, but then again, it comes back down to the thing, like nothing goes to waste.
Yeah.
Some people eat like the brain of different animals, like cows and stuff. They eat brain, they eat the tongue, they eat the rest of the fucking thing.
Have you had cow tongue?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made lengua taco, or my father-in-law made lengua tacos.
Yeah, dude, the best.
They're delicious.
The texture,
they have good texture, and if you do it right, they have really good flavor. Mm-hmm. And it's just soft. It's just a soft meat.
It's good. God.
Yeah. I was telling Jenna on our first interview together. I've had goat meat like at a taco place in Ellensburg, and that's the first time I ever had goat, or at least like knowingly had goat. I don't know if I've ever had it before, but knowingly had goat, and it was delicious.
One of the best meats I've ever had. I was in Greece in September, and
oh shit!
Oh yeah,
damn. Fancy living.
Oh yeah. It was only because like my best friend like took me along for the ride.
Yeah.
Because like he'd recently broken up with his girlfriend he was going to take.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh shit, well I have this plane ticket and this cruise ticket for that. So you want to go? And I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Let me get my shit together and let's do it. I would too, man.
Dude, it was awesome. It was like 2 weeks of just sailing through Italy, Greece, and then Turkey.
No way.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's dope.
It was fantastic. And the ship was huge, dude. It had everything
kind of like a big yacht thing? Or was it like a cruise ship?
Huge cruise ship.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was sweet.
Damn.
But the baby goat that I had in Greece.
Baby goat?
Oh, yeah.
It's probably not softer than regular goat because it's a baby.
I mean, yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh, dude, it was great.
Yeah.
They served on like this. It was just like a giant hunk of meat with like a bone sticking out of it, like a Flintstones meal.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I couldn't even finish it. Damn. They had like these vinegary potatoes too. Mm. Oh my god. Damn.
And this was in Greece, you said?
Yeah, dude. I gotta say, kind of a hot take here. I think Greek food might be better than Italian.
Here's what I've always said for the longest time. Italian food is just some form of bread with some type of sauce and some type of cheese and possibly meat. So if you look at bread, like bread, pasta, ravioli, all that shit's like some type of bread or pasta. It's made with wheat and water and egg and all that shit. And then they have sauce, which is marinara sauce or a white sauce or even like an oil or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they have cheese, mascarpone cheese, cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese,
Yeah, and then of course the
Parmesan
wine.
cheese. Yeah, and then so it's just and if I have any Italian friends, I'm sorry, I do love Italian food, but you're dipping cheese covered bread into a sauce that's more cheese covered bread, and you're eating cheese covered bread with sauce and another cheese covered bread, and it's
all carbs and cheese basically.
Yeah, and it's delicious.
It is, yeah,
it's delicious. Like the tour of Italy at fucking at Olive Garden. It's Alfredo, which is cheese and pasta, spaghetti, which is sauce and cheese and sauce and pasta, and then you get the the chicken, which is breaded. And it's meat, and it comes with, the marinara or whatever. And then you get your breadstick. It's bread. You dip it in sauce. So, yeah. But Greek food, I've only had Greek food one time, maybe twice. One time for sure. When I lived in Post Falls before I moved back, they had a place called the White House and the Oval Office in Post Falls. And the White House and the Oval Office were Greek restaurants. The White House, well, I don't know why they call it White House and Oval Office.
That's a very American food, very random name.
You would think it'd be like American food, right? But it's Greek food. And the White House was like the more everyday kind of person, little about the same price as like an Olive Garden, or something like that. So it's a little higher end on the price scale, but it's like, people with your kids can come in, and eat food or whatever, but it was Greek food. Delicious. The Oval Office, I never ate there, but it was more higher end. So it'd be more like the carousel or whatever, so it'd be a little higher end, more expensive, but it'd be more like an intimate setting. It was a smaller building, more intimate settings. Most of the chairs or the seating there was like two tops. So it's like, you and your partner, or you and a friend or whatever. So,
that's cool.
So, but it was that food I had there was delicious. It's been 13, 14, maybe even 15 years now since I've had it. So I can't tell you exactly what I've had, but I do remember when I went there, the food that I did have was thoroughly enjoyable.
Damn. You know what? One thing I learned from that international traveling is, foreign cuisine's good. Italian food, very good. Greek food, good. Turkish food, good. But there's nothing about it being made by the people there. Like the food in America is just as good as the food abroad. It's not magically better just because an Italian who's lived there and smoked cigarettes and just drank wine every morning for 40 years of his life made it. Yeah. Right. As long as they're using good ingredients. Like I've had Italian food just as good in like Seattle and Yakima as I had in Naples. Yeah. Yeah. It just depends on where you go.
Yeah. It's just, it comes down to, like you said, ingredients. And then obviously, you got to put some love into it.
Yeah, their food is good, but it's not like shit on America good.
Yeah. Well, you go over there and they have American stuff over there too. It's mostly fast food shit, like McDonald's and shit like that. But
there was Starbucks all over like Italy.
Yeah, but you can't tell me those people don't enjoy those meals. I mean, obviously there's a reason why they're popular over there is because, one, it's probably cheap, but they have different restrictions on food over there than we do. Over in our McDonald's, it's full of chemicals and shit, and over in some of those other countries, they have to use like actual meat and actual shit.
Yeah, like in sodas too. Like look at the difference between like the Fanta that they sell here versus like what they sell in Spain. Yeah. And like if you look at theirs, it's clearly like a far more natural color. It's not like fucking glowing in the dark.
Yeah. It looks more like orange juice. Yeah. Rather this one, because I think it actually has real orange juice in it.
Yeah, and real sugar versus like the artificial shit that they're pumping in everything.
Sucralose and all that shit. Yeah, ours is just basically food coloring and sugar with carbonation and all these other random chemicals. And theirs is like orange juice, soda water, a little bit of sugar, and I don't know, maybe a preservative or something. And they have like 4 ingredients. Ours has like 16. So what the fuck?
Yeah. It's one of the many reasons why they're healthier over there than us.
Well, yeah, over there, they don't have, their government's not pumping them full of shit. Yeah. And I mean, you can get into the whole conspiracy that's all by design, which I believe I'm partial to that. I think it's part of the reasoning why, because over there in different countries, man, they're not popping pills like we do over here. Yeah. They do food, they exercise, they walk a lot of different places.
Because the cities, they're way older. Like a lot of those cities are centuries old, so everything is like condensed and purposely designed to be in walking distance. Right. Here, like in America, everything is basically designed to travel by car. Yeah. So you have people who like if infrastructure and like architecture and stuff was built similar to how it was in Europe, like we would probably be a lot fitter as a people.
Yeah, because we would walk most places.
Yeah, because like in Athens and like in Naples and stuff, we were walking like 5 hours at a time, like going from place to place exploring. Right. And everyone else was walking too.
Well, even like some of the older cities in America, like New York,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, obviously New York's a big place, so if you need to go someplace here or there, you would either take a taxi or drive. But if you lived like in a village or something like that, a lot of your stuff's within a few blocks. I mean, their blocks are big, but you could walk to different places.
Yeah, those places that were like built in the 1700s, like Boston, Philadelphia, New York. Yeah,
Yeah, they do have a central area that's more like over in Europe. You know, they have that same style where everything was meant because it was a smaller,
Yeah.
smaller, and it had the cars and bikes and all that shit back then. You know, they had, if anything, they had a horse, or a horse and buggy or something similar to that to get around.
Just some guy carrying you on a rickshaw.
Yeah, exactly. but you have to be able to navigate to those places, and then obviously if you were like going to a place where you were trading maybe food for goods, or going to like a hardware store where you needed certain items or whichever, then you would obviously not want to go someplace that's a mile away and have to carry all that shit back home.
Oh, yeah.
You would go someplace that's close, so that's why they have everything that's so, almost confined within a certain area. And that's the whole idea behind these like 15-minute cities they're trying to build now, is that all your needs and things that you need are going to be within 15 minutes. And there's a whole conspiracy about that thing being this whole nefarious thing. I'm on both sides of the fence on that one because, confining people in this area isn't necessarily a good thing, I guess. But at the same time, if you could get all your shit done within 15 minutes of your house, that's always pretty nice.
Yeah.
But then again, most people don't drive further than 15 minutes from the house for anything anyways.
That's true.
Like if I go to the store, I'm not driving an hour to some place so I can save $4.
You spend more on gas to get there.
Exactly. I heard during Ray's all the fucking time when I worked there. Oh, Fred Meyer's is way cheaper than you guys. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but you got to spend 15 minutes to get there. And then you got to spend, 20 minutes getting in there and in line to wait. And So what's your time worth? You spend an extra hour going there. And then you got to drive all the way back because I know you live in Selah. Hence, why are you here? So you spend an hour of your time and gas money and all that shit to save, what, 60 cents? That's cool. I'll go out of my way to save 60 cents a gallon on gas or something.
Yeah.
Or even 30 cents a gallon. I'll go out of my way. But I'm not going to drive an hour to do that. I'll drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. I'll drive the Lower Valley if I need to, like Wapato. If I'm down there, I might as well pick up a pack of cigars or something while I'm down there.
Dude, people will do anything to feel like they're saving a penny.
Well, yeah, and it's the same concept as like, would you travel, 20 minutes to save $4? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, try this. Would you travel 20 minutes to save $4 on a $100 item? No. Would you travel 20 minutes to save $4 on a $10 item? And they're like, yeah, probably. It's like, exactly. It's the same $4. It's just a higher percentage of the item that they're trying to buy.
Yeah.
It's the same $4. So it's kind of one of those things like, it's a cool little social experiment that, that I don't remember where I read it from, but someone, was asking people that question, and people were more apt to, drive 20 minutes to save $4 when it's 40% of their bill rather than when it's 4% of their bill, so. But it's the same $4. It's the same $4.
And there's probably like other stuff like that we all fall for, like that we do mental gymnastics to explain in our head to make the choices we do.
Yeah, exactly.
We're probably just as stupid in some other way.
Oh yeah, we are. We all are. We're all dumb in one way or another.
You don't know what you don't know. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's times where, I've made a fool of myself for different things, and
I do it daily.
I wake up every morning and make a fool of myself. I'm like, damn it.
It's a way of life at this point.
I haven't won the lotto yet, idiot. I still have to work for a living, dumbass. So I'm not a rich, Mongol or Mogul or whatever. Mogul,
yeah. You just have to be delusional enough to think that you're a temporarily embarrassed millionaire.
Yeah.
And then just be off your mind ambitious.
What's that? You remember that meme where like black guy's like pointing to his head like this?
Oh yeah, I think it's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, he goes, what is it? You'll never be broke if you don't check your bank account.
I know so many people who are like that too.
Fuck that, dude. I'm checking my bank account like 4 times a day just to make sure. Like before I went to the store, I was like, "Well, do I have enough in here?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I do."
And then there's people who are too afraid to check their bank, but they'll like roll the dice on like whether their DoorDash order will be accepted.
It's like, oh, if it got accepted, I obviously have money in there. It's like, no, the bank just said, yeah, fuck it, and then charge you $35.
It's like, thanks for making me broker because I'm broke. I appreciate it, homie.
Yeah. I don't know who you have at a bank, but Celerity's pretty good about that. There's been times where like my check comes in on Wednesdays about 2, and there's been times where it doesn't come in until Thursday at midnight.
Oh, geez.
For some reason. It's just luck of the draw, I guess. But excuse me, I had a bill that was scheduled to come out at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, and my check didn't come through, and it overdrafted my account.
Oh my god.
So not only was I negative something in the hole, but then I was an extra $33 because they only charged 33 instead of 40 or 35. So thank you, Celerity. $33. So I called them and talked to them. And the lady was like, "Well, do you want us to make it so it doesn't go through, so you don't have the overdraft charge?" I was like, "No, because it's a bill that I have to get paid. I'd rather pay the extra $33." And she's like, "You know what we could do? We could." And I was telling her, like, my check normally comes in, and she could see, you know, the history of my check coming in around the same time for the last year. Just the last couple months has been like this. It's been random times and like Thursdays and shit. And she goes, "I'll waive the fee for you."
Oh, that's nice.
I'm like, "Yeah, you're awesome. I don't know who you are, but I love you. If you're listening to me, Miss Celerity girl, I love you."
Shout out to all the random like secretaries who pull strings for you.
Yeah, exactly. They're the real heroes. The people fighting fires right now, nah.
No.
Police officers, nah. The people saving me $33 overdraft charge, you're the hero.
Yeah, they're the backbone of this country.
Yeah. No, the fires, man, are crazy right now.
I know, dude. You go outside, the sun's like bright red.
Yeah, you can look right at it and it doesn't even hurt your eyes.
I
That's
know.
how thick this smoke is. I work 4 days out of the week in Ellensburg for my job. And the last couple of days in Ellensburg, it's been blue skies.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been blue skies. You smell a little smoke, but it's obviously because it's really windy up there, and then it's a little south of Ellensburg, so it's not coming up through the that area as much. But they're still getting a little bit of it, so you see a little haze. But for the last couple of days, it's been cool. It's been a little windy and blue skies, not as smoky as Yakima. So I'm digging it,
digging the lack of lung cancer.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I'm just like, and then I come back. I'm driving over the last hill into Selah, and you can't even see Selah, and I'm like, oh fuck.
It goes from like the slight, like the greenery of Ellensburg into like the smoky desert haze of Yakima.
Reminds me of like apocalypse movie or something. You know, we got that orange like deserty haze in the background.
That Breaking Bad like Mexico tint.
Yeah. Or like, what is it, like a dune tint or something. Yeah, it just looks all, or like a Mad Max. That's kind of reminds me of like a Mad Max kind of tint with them driving through the desert and got all that dirt and orange and shit everywhere. Yeah. I'm over these fires, man. That one that's out there in LT is like, it started down by Cascade Park. It pretty much almost affected my parents. Luckily, they didn't have to evacuate. They had helicopters landing on their property because they were filling up from the lake out there. And then they were obviously having to refuel and all that shit. So they were landing on their property. It was kind of cool. She put a video on Facebook or whatever. But yeah, I think it's like, 14,000 acres now?
Yeah,
as of yesterday
huge.
Or something.
My mom was camping like somewhere like where the fire was originally started, and she had to evacuate while I was like coming towards her.
You're like, fuck.
And then like a day later, the place that we're camping was like completely just burned away,
all black and charred.
Oh yeah,
damn, dude. Well, luckily she got out.
Oh yeah, and
it's just scary
because the way home was blocked by like the fire, so they had to take the long way around, and they didn't get back till like midnight.
Shit, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, dude. I was like, is my mom dead right now?
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, we haven't had any thunderstorms or anything, so it's got to be either negligence or someone doing it on purpose.
I just think, yeah, I mean,
we do have firebugs. We do have people that start fires for whatever fucking reason.
That's the one that just started in California was started by like a intentional arsonist, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Bro, like, why? you're going to get caught, hopefully at least, and you're going to have to fucking pay one way or another somehow for damages, and then you're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're doing 14,000 or like up here, I don't know how much the damage is down in California, but up here it's like at least $14,000 of land and possibly houses burned down, buildings. I don't know if any lives have been lost. I don't know. Hopefully not. But like all that, you're responsible for all that shit. So yeah, you should go to prison.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For the rest of your life. Fuck you, bro.
Yeah, dude.
If you did it on accident, it's one thing. Like complete accident. I mean, it's dry season. You probably shouldn't be fucking with fires right now, anyways. But like, obviously, if something happened and it was a complete accident, like you had a propane burner or something cooking food and it got knocked over or something into some brush or something, completely understandable. It sucks. Obviously, you still got to be responsible for it, but maybe not rot in prison kind of responsible.
Yeah.
You know?
But the people who like do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, fuck them.
Dude, it kind of makes you want to bring back like those old, like 2,000-year-old punishments.
Oh, shit. It's like, okay, well, if you like starting fires, we like starting fires with you inside of a bronze bowl. No, man, people were crazy when it comes to like punishments back then. I was watching a YouTube video the other day and it was like the 10 worst punishments in human history. And that bronze bowl is one of them. And they have like the one where they go in that little coffin with all the spikes. And then they have other ones. I was like, man, this shit's crazy. Like, just, that's how like fucked up humans' brains are. We're like, how can we kill someone as painful as possible?
God,
or make them suffer before they die? And it's like, what? Shoot them or kill them or slice their head off or something if you're going to fucking kill them. Like,
I mean, yeah, I like to think that if the aliens are real, that we're not the most barbaric species, but there's a good chance, just based on our own history, that like we're the most fucked up psychopathic creatures on the in the galaxy.
Well, we've been fucking shit up and fucking each other up ever since. You know, either we landed on this planet or we're born out of the goo or someone made us, you know.
Oh yeah.
We've been fucking fighting each other ever since the dawn of our time.
But people will find any reasons to make an enemy out of someone else too.
Yeah, they can't just see past the differences most of the time.
Like think of like the tribe, like the first humans. Like, oh, we live on mountain and they're flatlanders.
Yeah,
and fear people.
And they can't come up here or else we'll kill them.
Yeah.
What?
It's like, guys, they're like a mile apart, like they're this exact same, like genetically and everything. Yeah, probably descended from like the same tribe leader.
Yeah, they're cousins. It's like, you didn't call me last weekend, bro. You and I are enemies.
You didn't meet me at the Sun Festival.
Yeah.
Now your entire people must die.
Yeah, you must be enslaved and killed. That's stupid. Yeah, I mean, if you go back to human history, regardless of your belief, I mean, we obviously have this, either if you believe in religion or if you believe in evolution or if you believe in either like even like an alien intervention, you know, if you want to go that way, we all descended from the same place somewhere in time. So, I mean, we're all related. We're all the same. You know, we're all the same thing. I mean, we all. If you were to stab me or I were to stab you, we would either die but we bleed red.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So all of our insides look the same. You know, if we died right next to each other right now, and 1,000 years from now they took up our bones, we look exactly the same. I mean, I'm a little taller than you, but that's about it. You know, our general structure would look exactly the same to someone. They wouldn't say, "Oh, this guy's, you know, was doing this or that guy's doing that." They'd be like, "Yeah, they're just two dudes that died next to each other." You know, so it's crazy. Obviously, they can tell some stuff. Like if you worked manual labor a lot in your life, you could tell by like depleting bone, you know, marrow and stuff like that. But overall, it's just some dude.
Exactly.
So I don't know this. I don't get this whole fighting thing, especially like, you know, with the whole, you got Ukraine and Russia shit going on. You got the stuff in the Middle East going on all the fucking time. And it's like, guys, can't you just, I think it comes down to ego.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It comes down to ego. I mean, you can't just let shit go. You can't just let shit go. And I know it's kind of hypocritical coming from me because I try not to hold grudges if I can help it, but I'm human. I'm fallible, so I will do things, but I'm trying better at life, trying to be better at life and not do those types of things and hold on to grudges and shit like that because it's petty.
And that's all you can do, right? Like you always have to strive to keep growing, like no matter what stage in life you're at.
Yeah,
because there's always something new to learn, and there's always some way to improve.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're actively trying to better yourself or improve yourself or do something, then that's really all anybody can ever ask of you.
Yeah.
You know, you can't expect everybody to do this or do that. But if I asked someone to try, then that's really all I can ever expect out of them is to try. And if they don't want to, well then whatever. I'm not going to ask them then, or I'm not going to depend on them, or be around them, or whatever it may be. You know? So,
and no matter how like shitty someone is, if they are genuinely trying to better themselves, like you can always you can always at least respect that.
Yeah, exactly. You may not have to. You don't have to like try and be friends with them or be around them, but you can at least respect the hustle that they're trying to like do. So I'm personally, I think I'm a pretty decent person. Someone else listening may think I'm a complete asshole. Someone else listening might think I'm the best thing in the world. Thank you if you believe that, but I'm definitely not. But I'm trying my best to be a decent human being. You know, I'm not going out of my way to harm anybody.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, not purposefully at least. So anyways, just rambling on. So traveling abroad, out of the 3 places, you stopped at 3 different places, right?
Several like different islands and stuff in Greece, different cities in Italy, and then for Turkey, we spent all that time in Istanbul.
Okay. Out of those 3 places that you visited, what was your favorite place to go to?
Probably Athens, I would say.
Yeah.
Just like the combination of modern and ancient architecture that all is like kind of mixed together is a really cool contrast. One thing you wouldn't expect out of Athens, it probably has the most graffiti out of any city that I've ever been to.
Wow.
Like more than I've been to LA. It has way more than LA.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of it is tastefully done. It's like it's street art more than just random scribbles, like gang related scribbles.
Yeah.
And like God, the restaurants were really good. All the small, like really small, like coffee shops and like little breakfast eateries just hidden away and like tucked away in random buildings.
And I'm sure the scenery there is beautiful too.
Oh, dude, they have this massive public garden in Athens that I forget the queen's name that built it, but it's huge and it has like 20,000 something different types of trees and and bushes and stuff.
So it's like almost literally like a Garden of Eden.
Oh yeah, and we're like when we visited, my whole group was just like, wow, holy shit. And then we look around and there's just like Greek men just like throwing their fucking cigarettes in a bush and stuff like, nah.
Like no respect for it whatsoever.
They just because they see it every day. It doesn't really mean anything to them.
To us, it's like a park. To them, it's like a park that we have here that we just smoke a cigarette and throw it on the ground or whatever. They're just like, yeah, this thing's been here forever. Whatever.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's funny. Yeah, it's kind of cool that they have that. I mean, there's so much history in some of those places. Some of those countries are older than, just this country, obviously.
Oh yeah,
some of those buildings that are older than this damn country.
Yeah, there's buildings that are older than like the colonization of the Americas by like hundreds of years.
Yeah,
thousands.
So just the rich history there. And I've always been told, and I've kind of felt it myself. Like if you go into like some of these older buildings, like you can feel like you can feel energy. You can feel like a culture. You can feel something in there that you can't quite understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like a psychological thing, but there's definitely like a weight to the
and you go in there and you can feel something, and you just sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Obviously it depends on the history, but there's a theory out there that buildings and stuff like that remember things, so especially if things happen there. So when you go into some of these buildings, you can kind of feel the energy from those events, and you may not obviously be completely aware of those events, but you can feel those events there. And it may not be something crazy like an assassin or assassination attempt, or like a a queen or a king or a knight being knighted there or something like that. Nothing crazy like
something
that.
mundane, like someone tried cheese for the first time and fell in love, and then now I crave blue cheese.
Or it used to be like the most popular pub, in the 1400s or 1600s or something, and now it's just like a bed and breakfast. But
a nice jovial feeling there.
Yeah, you go in there and you're just like, man, this place feels like fun, but it's just like a bed and breakfast. It's kind of cool. And I mean, there's obviously some buildings here in Yakima that are fairly old, and when you go in there, you can feel a little bit of it, but it's not like I would imagine what it feels like over there.
Oh yeah,
because there's so much history. I mean, like you said, they're hundreds of years older than this country.
Yeah, But at the same time, too, like I found myself as I was flying back into Yakima, like appreciating the unique beauty we have.
Oh yeah, this especially. I mean, America, sure, but especially with the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, dude,
it's gorgeous.
As far as in my limited experience traveling, I would still say that the Pacific Northwest is like the most beautiful region in the world.
Well, we have a rainforest, we have forests, we have hills, we have mountains, we have full-on mountains, and then we have hills. Then we have flatlands on the east coast or on the east side, and we got everything from fucking desert all the way to rainforest. Yep. I mean, I guess if you really, really wanted to, and the weather was right, you could go to the lake and jet ski, and then turn around and snow ski in the same day.
Oh yeah,
and that's just hours apart from each other. And it's crazy. So yeah, Washington State, Oregon State, even parts of Idaho, like northern Idaho, it's got that like rainforest, evergreen trees and stuff, and there's so much life. Like there's so much life there. It's insane. And even like eastern Washington, that's pretty like barren. Like us, we have some, trees and stuff, but we also have a huge river going through it. So there's life teeming there.
And there's still like a unique beauty to like the desert, like the plains atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously we've cultivated this valley. So it's, you got farmland and you got, apples and you got orchards, and then the river, you got the river and you got all the natural plant life that follows along the river and stuff. So if you were to fly over, you look at it and you're like, man, that's cool. It's dope. But yeah, we are a desert. So it gets 110 during the summer and then fucking minus 20 during or minus 4 during the winter.
Do you remember like that heat wave back in like 2021?
Oh yeah.
I think I remember Googling it, and we were like hotter here than like in Saudi Arabia and like Iran and shit.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
Yeah, dude. It was like 116 in like Seattle and Portland. People were boiling. Like 1,000 people died.
Yeah, because they don't have air conditioning over there because it never gets that hot. Some buildings do. But a lot of those buildings, they don't have any type of like central air units when it comes to like cooling. They have heat because it does get cold there. Not as cold as it does here. It's fairly mild temperature over there. It's pretty nice if you can deal with the rain. Which some people, that's a little price to pay for moderately temperate, weather throughout the whole year.
I mean, yeah, it's always like overcast and drizzly.
Yeah.
And like I know people can get like seasonal depression over there too, but
yeah. But you just got to travel to this side, get some sunshine, get that vitamin D, and then head back.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't stay. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do like Seattle. Me personally, I'm not on the whole like seeing eye to eye with the whole political spectrum over there. You don't have to weigh in on that if you don't want to. I don't care.
Oh, I'm fine with it.
But I do appreciate the beauty that whole area has, because maybe not Seattle, but the outskirts of Seattle, like Issaquah, and then up north from there, it's just gorgeous. You got the trees, you got the water, and you got the bays right there. You can go ocean, you can go oceanside if you want, and you go up and you got rainforest, and you got hills and mountains and shit, and you got hiking, you got hunting, you got boating, and it's so gorgeous over there. And then I'm like, fuck, man. Then you got to go into a big ass city that takes you an hour to go anywhere.
Just sitting in traffic.
Yeah, just
surrounded by like a bunch of drivers with room temp IQ.
Yeah, that don't like anything besides themselves. And they're honking at you for not going. And it's like, bro, I can't go. There's 14,000 cars in front of me that's not going. I don't know what the fuck you honking at me for. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want to live. I've never want to live over there. When I was a kid, maybe I did. Just because, like, Yakima's, when you're a kid, you're like, this is boring. There's nothing to do here.
Yeah, where's all the clubs and where's all that?
But when you get older, I mean, there's obviously people that are older and they still like living over there. But as I got older, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't like being around that many people.
And like, I think we live like a good amount of. I'm like, we're just the right distance from Seattle to where, like, if we wanted to, we could take a weekend there, do all the cool stuff, and then come back to like the serene, like, calmness of our little desert hobbles.
The calmness that does happen sometimes if you're not
in between gunshots and
gunshots, dead bodies, fires, yeah, Pepsi trucks, turning over and blocking traffic for half a day. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool, but yeah, like you said, it is a good area, and you could travel there. I mean, honestly, you could do a day trip. I've done day trips over there.
Man, it's just like what, like a 2.5 hour drive?
Depends on where you're going, but yeah, average 2 hours. Like if you're going up north a little bit further, maybe 3. But then you leave first thing in the morning, get there, maybe get some breakfast or some early or a brunch, and then go do your thing, and then come back, and then you can be home by 9.
And then just chill the rest of the day.
Yeah, or even 6, and then chill the rest of the day, or come home and go straight to bed. Whatever you got to do, It's not that long of a drive. It's actually a pretty drive. Like it's scenic. The one I hated was driving to Spokane.
Yeah,
it's shit to look at, bro. It's all dirt and fucking sagebrush, and then you get to like the Cheney exit, and then you get some evergreens and stuff, and then you get Spokane, and you're like, okay, cool. Now there's something to look at. But between then and there, I mean, a little bit of Moses Lake, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You ain't got jack shit to look at. Vantage is kind of cool, though. I like Vantage.
Where's that at?
The Vantage Bridge right before you go into George.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you go past Ellensburg about, 30 minutes or so, there's like that bridge you go over, and that's that big old, it's just that big river. They have a dam right there. So I didn't know this until until my stepdad told me when I was younger, but before that dam was there, that road, instead of that bridge, it would go down. And there was a smaller bridge you'd cross, and then you'd go back up the other side. But because they built that dam there, that water has risen however many, hundreds of feet or whatever. So now they built that modern bridge that's there now that they're working on because it's old and damaged, and luckily no one's died from crossing it. But you can go, if you take the exit and go towards like the ginkgo, I think it's called ginkgo, there's a petrified forest that you can go see over there by Vantage. And if you go over in that area, you can follow this road down, and a lot of people launch their boats from there, but it's a road that basically just drives, and it drives into the water. And that's the old road that you used to take and to go down, and then you come back up on the other side. Obviously, you can't take that road anymore unless you have a car that turns into a submarine. But we used to drive up there, and then people would launch their boats, then park over. But we would go there because it was cool. It was like a road that just goes in the water, and it's almost kind of eerie to think about, like people driving on this road. What's that newer term that's going on, like liminal spaces? Like it's almost like a liminal space where it's like people are meant to be there, but they're not there, kind of thing. Have you heard of the term liminal space?
I think this is the first time I've heard it.
So liminal space is basically like there's a place that people are supposed to be, but people aren't there. So like an empty mall would be like a liminal space. So like an old deserted empty mall. So like the Yakima Mall. If you've ever gone in there, I haven't. I want to go in there because I've heard there's like still all the old signs and all that shit up. But if you went in there, you'd like, okay, there's supposed to be people here, but there's no one here. Or like an empty old like a department store or anything like that. Or like a stairwell that's underwater. There's supposed to be people, but they can't get to it, kind of thing. That's what this whole liminal space thing is. And they've made like videos and video games and stuff based off the concept. But that's kind of what that road is. It's like a liminal space. You're like, there's supposed to be people here, but they can't get there anymore. It's almost like I wouldn't say like supernatural thing, but it kind of has that almost same feeling.
That eerie, like...
Yeah, almost like it's uncomfortable feeling.
Uncomfortably silent.
Yeah, eerie vibe where like something might jump out, but it won't because there's nothing there. Yeah. It's weird. So, so besides those 3 places you've been recently, is there any other places outside of the country that you've been?
No, those were the first countries I've been in. Other than like stopping at an airport in Canada, like on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never like been anywhere else. Yeah, me, I've never traveled outside the country.
I mean, there's so much to see here already. You don't really need to go out. I mean, I think international travel is good for people just to see like a different way of living and perspective on things. But
yeah, go experience different cultures.
But
maybe not travel to the Middle East where people hate Americans, but travel to other places where they're tolerant of Americans because we're the babies of the world. We're the assholes.
Someone has to make the sacrifice to go to these places just to spread some goodwill.
Yeah, go to North Korea, have fun. There are people that go to North Korea.
Oh yeah,
I've heard horror stories about North Korea.
A lot of people don't come back.
They don't come back, or they there's a huge set of rules you have to go there.
Like they're all like, I think there's like a set of like 20 or like maybe probably less than that haircuts like men and women are allowed to have.
Yeah, and they have to be approved by the government, and then no one private besides like business owners and military are allowed to have like vehicles.
Oh yeah,
so like a farmer can have a vehicle to transport his goods or whatever, but he can't have like a personal vehicle to drive into town.
Yeah,
to take like the train or the bus or some type of public transport.
And like no outside media is allowed in. Like I think allegedly they just executed like a group of teenagers who were caught listening to like K-pop.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have like their own internet. They have their own internet that is very highly monitored. And then you can't be out like past a certain time. They have people out there like sweeping the streets. I mean, their country's very clean. Like their towns and cities are very clean, at least from the outside perspective. I've never been there personally, so I can't say. But I've seen pictures and videos of people like sweeping the streets because they have. I don't know if they have pride or maybe they're just being.
It's because it's all like it's all based on appearances. It's all like putting up a front. Like, oh, look how much of a sophisticated modern nation we are.
Yeah.
Never mind the 1945 like tanks we have for our parades.
Yeah, or the fake groceries we have in the store because we're actually starving. And then tourists. Like if you go in there and you take a picture of like a statue, you have to take a picture of the entire statue. You can't just take a picture of like the people by the feet. You have to take a picture of like, you can stand by there, but you have to take a picture of the entire statue. So like the people are like a little blip. You're like, oh, you got my bad side. Let me turn. It's like, I can't even see you, fucker. And then like you can't take pictures of certain things. And you can't be out during certain times if you're a tourist because that's for locals only times and shit like that. It's weird, man.
Dude.
And it's like, and obviously those people don't like, they didn't choose to live there.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't choose to be born in Yakima. Yeah. I didn't choose to be dirt poor.
And there's a lot.
I didn't choose this complexion or this voice, or this ratty ass hair. I didn't choose. Well, I can cut it, I guess, but I didn't choose these things. Just like they didn't choose. Yeah. So when people are like, "Fuck North Korea," it's like, dude, fuck the government, maybe, but not the people. The people are just people.
There's a bunch of shit we do too that's considered weird pretty much everywhere else, like the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Like people in Europe think the Pledge of Allegiance is like this weird, like culty, like semi-fascistic thing.
Yeah.
And I guess because we've grown up with it, it's so normalized.
Yeah, it is fairly normal, and I get the understanding behind it because it's supposed to be like kind of patriotic and brings the people together as Americans. But now people are like, they're trying to change the lyrics of it, and they're trying to take it, just cancel it altogether, kind of thing. But then other countries have national anthems.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the difference? Most countries have some type of national anthem. It may not be lyricized like that. But some of them have lyrics. Yeah. I was just watching Xander and I turned on USA versus Zambia women's soccer for the Olympics last night.
Yeah.
And they were doing the national anthem for America and Zambia. Both of them had lyrics because you could see the Zambian people when they were, they were lipping the lyrics.
Yeah.
It was just the music, but they were lipping the lyrics just like we were with the national anthem. So I can see it on both sides because, it could be kind of fascist seeming, but at the same time, it's just our national anthem.
Yeah.
So it's just country pride, I guess.
It's just a weird little habit that we've developed somewhere along the way.
Yeah. We're like, this is what our plot of land, this is our song, and this is our flag, and this is our bird, and this is our rules, and it's right across an imaginary line. They have a different flag and a different song and a different bird and different rules. I mean, I'm not for the open border shit, but borders are kind of dumb, to be honest with you, on different things.
Yeah.
I'm there on both sides. Like, who decided that this section of land, and we're going to cut it right here in the middle of the fucking forest, and we're going to call that Canada, and we're going to call this U.S.
Yeah, ultimately, we're all following the rules of people, of like business moguls and like conquerors from hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And now we're just stuck with that because some rich lord was like, nah, I think I'll draw the borders here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we all have to live with the ramifications of that for the next 500 years. Thanks.
Well, that's basically how they claimed land back then. You know, on a map, they're like, "Oh, we'll do this," and if there's any people there, kill them or enslave them.
Yeah, like the Pope, like basically gave okay, Spain, you have everything like from this angle up, and Portugal, you have everything down there.
Yeah.
Doesn't anyone living there? Yeah, they're your new subjects.
Yeah. I don't know if you've watched Hulu lately, the Shogun.
Oh no, I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah. It's like the Portuguese versus like the Japanese and all that other shit, and they're talking about like the king says that this is our land and all that shit, and it's kind of samurai style. So they're the Japanese is what they call them. So it's just kind of shows like they're like, oh well, this is our land because this guy said so, and there's people living there, so they're like, it's this whole thing.
Every time I see something like a historical documentary or a movie where like Spaniards are conquering and like being horrible to and some indigenous people, I cringe on the inside because my family came here from like, at least on my mom's side, in like the 1500s on some boats from Spain to go conquer some land.
You're like,
so every time I see like like a movie of like some Spaniards cutting down children, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. It's like, that could have been my great-great-great-great-grandpa. He's being portrayed by this guy, some actor. And I don't know much about my complete family history. My grandma did a 23andMe or whatever a number of years ago, and I just never did it because I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Don't want your DNA like to float.
Even though they have it already. I mean, every time you draw blood and send it off to somewhere, they have it.
Some guy in a lab somewhere is like, he has approximately 1% DNA from this indigenous group in Mexico, which makes him susceptible to this type of poison.
Yeah.
Which we're going to introduce into his food supply.
Yeah. If anybody wants to kill me, they just shoot me or fill me full of shellfish.
Get the shrimp gun.
Yeah. What was it? The heart attack gun back in the 60s with the CIA?
Yeah.
It was, what is it? Blowfish poison or something like that.
A lot of people thought that's what happened. I remember when Bernie Sanders was running again in 2020 and he had that heart attack in the middle of his campaign. I remember so many people being like, oh, the fucking CIA got him, dude.
Yeah. They don't even need the gun anymore. They have like waves that do it now. Well, they have like that crowd control gun that's basically just they shoot high powered waves at people that make them feel sick and throw up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have shit like that. There's no sound, no nothing. You just like all of a sudden have this onset of like vomiting and diarrhea. And you're like, what the fuck is... And they're shooting shit at you. And you don't even know, just high microwave waves at you. And then all of a sudden you're shitting your pants.
20 years later, you go get cancer and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, why is my lung leaking out of my fist right now?
Yeah, remember that time we shot really high powered microwaves at you? Yeah, that might be the reason why. So, if that's the case and they're doing these protests and shit, so the moral of the story is don't be a protester.
We're going to get commercials in like 30 years. If you or a family member was diagnosed with and intended a protest between 2016 and 2025, you may have a right to financial compensation.
Yeah, the government fucking shot you with shit. And now you're dying. So here's $14. This is a class action.
Here's $1 for every IQ point you lost.
It's a class action lawsuit. So the lawyers get like $50 million, and then all the people that were affected get $13. Get a $13 check. Sorry for your inconveniences over the last 30 years. Here's a $13 check.
I'm sorry your frontal lobe was completely obliterated by our microwave ray.
Here's a $13.47 check.
And because we microwaved your brain, you're going to accept it.
Yeah. And, well, your bank only accepts any payments over $20, so. And you can't combine, so you're fucked.
Oh,
you can go to a place and cash it, but they charge you a 10% fee. So you're losing $1.50 of your bill, of your check. Oh, man. Oh, stupid shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That shit was crazy though. Like, there's so much technology that we have now that can fuck people up, and it's sad. It's a sad fact that people are actually working on these things with the sole purpose of fucking people up. Like,
yeah.
And I get it to an extent, like with the whole Oppenheimer thing or Oppenheimer, whatever you want to say. If we don't do it, someone else will, so we might as well be us, kind of thing. That whole mindset, but that's a fucked up mindset. It shouldn't have to be that, but it is true though.
I think we're inherently driven to like both think and be that way.
Yeah, I mean it's a survival instinct. I get it, but you got to remember, like, especially with like a nuclear bomb or atom bomb or anything like that, if you fucking start shooting that shit, everybody else does shooting that shit, we're not going to be able to survive anyways. No. So, fuck, man. The fuck you guys trying to kill us all for, bastards?
Have you seen the Fallout TV series?
I haven't yet. I've played the games, obviously.
Have you played which ones have you played? I've
played was it 3? 3, New Vegas, and 4. I haven't played, what is it, 76 or Vault 76 or whatever it was. I haven't played that one because I heard it was super fucking buggy. So.
It's one of those games where like it was really shit when it came out, but like since then Bethesda's been like trying to pump a bunch of shit into it. So now it's actually like it went from like one of the more poorly rated games to like
little
decent. Now it's considered good.
Oh, okay.
It just took a long time for it to get there.
Oh, like No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I was so hyped for that game, and my wife bought it for me for Christmas or birthday or something like that. And I played it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is fucking sweet. But after like 2 hours, you're like, okay, this is very like...
This is what we were promised.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were promised. You can go to different places, and there's some animals, and some of them want to hurt you, and some of them don't. And you can mine, but there's no one out here.
Yeah.
But they made it so that you can multiplayer and all that other shit, which is cool, but I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spend another $50 to buy it, to play it. 2 hours a year. So, but anyways, Fallout, you're talking about the Fallout.
Oh yeah, dude, just I think we were talking about like what were we talking about right before that? I lost my train of thought. We were talking about like, oh yeah, nukes flying and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like the way the Fallout, like both the games, but also the show handles is like eerily realistic to how shit would really go down.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much like the 1950s like kind of theme of the show, but like just the greed of corporations and governments, like creating a scenario in which everyone loses. Yeah.
Well, I think it comes down to the same thing, ego. Because if I'm going to go down, I'm taking you down with me, essentially. So fuck you. If I can't win, then neither of us are winning.
And there's also the people who would do anything to rule, even if it was just ruling over ashes.
Yeah. Those are those fucking crazy psychopath people. They just want to watch the world burn, and then they'll just rule whatever's left.
And you have to think that those like types of people with like psychopathic or like antisocial tendencies, they probably seek out positions of power.
Well, I mean, you just look at some of our political people in power now. A lot of them are fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't tell me that anybody that goes into a position of power doesn't let that power go to their head in one way, shape, or form. It's been time and time again throughout history. We've seen it. Obviously, we have that. We at least tried to adopt the whole checks and balances thing in America. But when all those people are friends with each other and they're all part of the same club, they get shit done for them and them only.
Yeah,
they're not doing things where they're like, "Hey, man, so well, if we raise taxes, the people that are in a lower class, they're going to get fucked even more." And they're like, well, I don't give a fuck. I get to get a new car this year. Or I get to buy a new house this year. I get to go on vacation again this year.
And a lot of the tax cuts that we do get are exclusively for like people with all the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Raise taxes on the middle class, make up for it.
What was it? What did Dave Chappelle say? He was talking shit about like the Hillary and Trump thing when they were debating against each other. And, Hillary goes, well, he doesn't pay his taxes. And he goes, well, I take care. I do the system. I work the system. But I know for a fact that if you ever got elected, you wouldn't change that tax code because your friends use the same system, and it basically shut her up because, yeah, they do. All those people, they're all friends and they all know the loopholes. And if they don't, their financial advisors or accountants do.
And then you have like the rare gem, like Bernie Sanders, who like I actually believe probably did want to like tax billionaires and introduce healthcare.
And it's a good thought, but the thing is all those people that they're trying to tax are the ones funding their their campaigns essentially. Not all of them, but there are a significant amount. You know, you have some of those big rich guys that we don't even know their names. You know, they're part of a corporation or a shell company or something.
Oh yeah, there's billionaires that funneling like hundreds of millions of dollars into every political campaign in America there is, just to get their chosen guy like in office.
And not only that, but they probably, just like some of the Rockefellers and shit, they probably play on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't matter who's in office; they're winning.
Because I think it was Trump who was caught saying like at an event with a bunch of oil tycoons, he was like, "Give me $1 billion for my campaign, and I'll do whatever you want."
Yeah. And it's like, well, shit, man. When the money makes the world go round, money talks, bullshit walks. But a lot of these guys are full of bullshit, so it's like, well, where's the money?
A lot of these rich people are creepy as fuck, too, dude. I don't trust old money people.
They're used to getting their way. They're used to just being able to throw money at things and get their way, regardless of what it is. Power, women, cars, houses, businesses, whatever. Like, look at BlackRock. They own half the fucking country right now.
Oh, yeah.
Vanguard and all those fuckers. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? They just throw money at shit.
And then like they're so far removed from like the struggles of the average person that like they have zero empathy.
Yeah.
Like someone tells them no, they flip the fuck out and beat them to death with a golf club. Have it like
yeah. And then they pay someone to make it go away.
You just get disappeared in the back of a black van.
That or they go to jail, but they go into some like very minimum security with no other prison inmate type.
Get Epstein.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Bro.
They go into Epstein style. No, like, you know, you get some of these celebrities, they're like, yeah, I went to prison. And then you talk to the prison guys, they're like, yeah, he went to prison, but he was like over in that wing.
Get the Martha Stewart treatment where like
yeah, there's no other prisoners there.
Sitting in like a jail cell that's essentially like a really nice library.
Yeah, it's like a little hotel room that you have to stay in for 6 months.
And like, I'm not against prisons being nice, but if you're gonna make them nice for everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, look at like some of the other countries. Like our prison system's all privatized, and they make millions of dollars every year off, you know, getting stupid sentences on certain things. Like you know, when it comes to like
drug charges.
Yeah, I mean there are some drugs that you know should have heavier charges, like you know, say fentanyl.
Yeah,
or
like if you're distributing for sure, but if it's just like private use, like
well, they're
gonna bust you and then make you like essentially doing slave labor for how long your sentence is.
Yeah, and then when you get out, you're still in the system until you're out.
Yeah, and if you make you a felon, you can't vote. You don't have a right to own a gun.
Yeah, you could try and get those rights back, but it's extremely hard and expensive. Yeah, it's all money.
Yeah,
it's all down to money, man. Just like all those guys are in COVID or during when Trump, you know, they're like, oh, if he gets elected, I'm going to Canada. And it's like, well, Canada doesn't take felons. And I know for a fact, half of you fuckers have DUIs. So,
not to mention Canada's immigration is way harder than ours.
Yeah, it is.
Like you need education. You need like to have a job there already lined up. You have to prove that you have like the skill set to actually benefit. Yeah,
you have to prove that you're going to be beneficial to society there.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously you have to go through all the rigmarole to become an actual citizen. You have to denounce your American citizenship, or you can
get dual citizenship.
Especially like,
but then you have to pay American taxes.
Yeah, so most people just change. Yeah. You know, they don't want to pay taxes twice because they got to do Canada and America.
I think we're like the only country too that makes our citizens living abroad pay American taxes.
Isn't that stupid?
Yeah, I kind of get it, like because you get the right to vote. Like if something happens in that country, like American helicopters are going to be there to like get all the citizens out.
Yeah.
So like you're paying taxes for that privilege. I understand people not wanting to.
Yeah, I mean I don't want to pay taxes.
Like to those who do, like I understand you're getting like the right to vote and like you know the safety that comes with it. Sure, I understand completely. But if I'm living in like Honduras or something, I don't want to pay fucking. Tax.
Depends on what you make, like a 20% tax or 18% tax or whatever. And if you're really rich, 30% tax on your money. But a lot of those guys probably have some type of loophole system.
Oh, for sure. They have all their money hidden away in like tax havens overseas.
Yeah. Swiss bank accounts or have it in assets rather than like physical stuff rather than money in a bank account.
Yeah.
Because you can't really tax stuff like that.
No.
You take all your money and put it in gold. and then just have your gold in a.
Or you buy you have some random piece of art appraised for $200 million. You buy it.
Yeah, they can't really tax you on a painting.
Yeah, then you turn around and sell it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all sorts of unique and interesting ways to hide your money from the government.
Yeah, that's why I always thought the art industry now is a huge money laundering scheme. Because I've seen some of the there's obviously some art out there that's probably worth a lot of money, just because obviously it's based on whoever will pay for it, and what they'll pay for it. Auctions are a really good way to see who will pay for it and what they'll pay for. But you can't just have an asking price oh, this thing's worth $10,000. Well, who the fuck are you? Why would I pay $10,000 for that? But then you also have the ones where it's huge names making stuff, either celebrities or whatever.
Yeah, that's a little more understandable.
Yeah,
right?
Because they want a piece of their,
especially something with historical significance attached to it.
Yeah, or a celebrity painted this, and you're oh, that's so and so's art, that he had, and it's got COA and all that shit on it, so you can have proof that they actually did it. But then you have ones that's a big blue square, and it sold for $500,000. It's why? Why? Oh, the paint, I made it myself.
Okay.
Why? You fucking just go to Michael's and buy paint. You could buy the fancy paint. But I think some of that stuff comes down to hey, this guy owes me money. He's going to paint something stupid, and I'm going to pay him or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever I owe him for this thing. And he's oh, man. And then you go to their house, and they have it up, and they're oh, yeah, it's a sick-ass paint. It's yeah, it's $500,000. Dad, you paid $500,000 for that? And they're because they're all pretentious. They're yeah, very nice. I like the brush strokes of it here. You can really tell that he put his heart and soul into that section especially. Must have been going through some breakup.
They're just make some shit up. I think it's it speaks to the human condition. Yeah.
The fucking guys off Family Guy. All right. Fuck the guys with the glass of Chablis and eating the escargot.
Wow.
And they're oh yeah, it's fancy. This is very fancy. I would never spend over $1 million on it, but
it's worth at least 500,000.
Yeah, I would definitely. I put it above my crapier. I'd be able to look at it every time I took a shit. Nah, rich people don't shit. It just goes away.
It just disappears.
Yeah, taking a shit, man, that really shows you that you're still human, no matter how much money you make.
Yeah, dude.
You can make $1 billion, but you still got to poop, and that's when you're most vulnerable.
No matter how much money you make, you're still susceptible to the 2 a.m. McDonald's beer combo.
Yeah, the just runny, nasty. You have to throw those underwear away. Fucking shits. Doesn't matter how much money you make, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna have those shits. And it really should show you, bring your ego down a little bit, that you're still fucking human. You may wipe your ass with $100 bills, but
you're still wiping your ass.
You're still wiping your ass, you idiot. Unless I guess if they're rich enough, they can pay someone to wipe their ass. I guess that's a little fancy. But then, so are old people in homes.
That's true.
They have people wipe their ass, and they're not fancy. Maybe it's fancy. I don't know.
Maybe it's an exquisite feeling. I don't know. I'd have to try.
I don't know if I could wrap my head around. I told my wife, if I ever get to the point where I can't wipe my own ass, just take me out. Pull the plug. You lose your independence at that point. You've lost your independence.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find joy in other things.
Nah.
No? You don't think so?
It's just putting puzzles together and thinking about how my grandkids don't fucking visit me anymore. And I can't wipe my own ass.
Just have my Guatemalan maid snuff me out with a pillow.
Yeah, just pull it. Hey, I pulled out $500,000 and it's underneath my pillow. Use that to kill me and then run. You can have it. Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, I love you. As you're smothering to death. And you can't move because you're old and you're you're super weak. Nah. I don't know. The thought of getting old kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I mean, as long as you I think, you always hear people older who exercise a lot say that it makes a massive difference. People, there's a bunch of old people who work out who always compare themselves to their the friends who don't work out, and they're always like, "Oh, he can barely get out of bed in the morning. I still feel as good as I did when I was 40, whatever."
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it comes down. Obviously, some of it's genetics, but a lot of it has to do with how active you stay and like your diet, and but obviously some of it's stuff that you can't help. Like if your family's susceptible to cancer or something like that, and you get cancer when you're older, and it just starts diminishing your health, or if you have some disease, like a bone disease that's just killing off your bones, or
you could be like me, or like your family's like susceptible to like heart problems.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
My grandma has heart issues and breathing issues. I'm like, oh, thanks, Grandma.
Appreciate it. Thanks for passing down those genetics specifically.
Awesome. I love you. Thanks. I do love her to death, and she's had some issues, but overall, I think she's doing pretty well. So, but I don't know, man. It kind of scares me a little bit. I mean, I turned 36 in 5 days, bro. Wait, 5 days? 4 days.
Damn.
On the 31st.
Happy early birthday.
I turned 36. So it's like, but like, fuck, dude. Like, I always say this kind of jokingly, but I kind of mean it a little bit. I'm probably about halfway through my life.
I mean, they say now that like being like in terms of like both health and like appearance, because of how much like less asbestos and like leaded gasoline and shit there is, like today's like 30s are basically like the equivalent of like being in your 20s back in the 70s.
I definitely don't feel 20. I feel 45, 60 some days.
Well, I mean, being a parent with young kids, that's going to do it to you too. But
well, not only that, but I do like physical sports and stuff. Like my knee's going out, my back's going out. So it's like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, as long as you keep yourself like relatively active,
Well, my job's not, like super strenuous, but it is laborious. I'm picking up stuff and moving stuff and doing stuff like that. So it's not like I'm not building a fucking house. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm not working out all day. I do work out. I sweat. I do burn off some calories, but then I stop at Burger King and get
wipe out everything good you did for that day.
Exactly. It is what it is. But live and let live, right?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that I can just at least be there for like when my kids get older and get married, have kids, hang out with my grandkids. And then after that, kill me off. No, I say that jokingly, but yeah, it is kind of scary just because like I've seen like where the world's going, and as of right now, I can still provide and defend my family if I need to. When I get 30 years from now, fuck, who knows, man? I may not be able to, and that kind of scares me a little bit. Obviously, in 30 years, I shouldn't have to. Hopefully, take care of my kids and stuff. But who knows, man? You can't afford anything nowadays, so who knows? In 30, and when by the time they turn 18, minimum wage may be $35 an hour, but
inflation will have increased so much.
Yeah, exactly. A loaf of bread's $17. It's like, well, fuck. Doesn't matter if you make $35 an hour.
Like when you go with when you play Fallout and you like walk past a building and the sign has like loaf of bread only $200.
Yeah. I need to start saving bottle caps. Honestly, I think there's a big consensus out there from at least the gaming community that bottle caps will probably be the new currency. At least in the gaming community.
For sure. They already have like a huge like post-apocalyptic kind of semi-Fallout themed festival where they set up booths and stuff and everything's purchased with bottle caps.
That's pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm assuming that the bottle. I wonder if you have to do you have to purchase bottle caps while you're there, or do you just bring your own?
I don't know. I think you bring your own.
Because that'd be kind of cool. Like if they did something like that, but so you bought $100 worth of bottle caps, and everything had every cap had a monetary value.
Yeah.
So not just obviously 100 caps would be they'd be $1 each or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you go to kind of like the script that you have at the beer festivals and stuff. So everything's worth a certain amount. Drop it off, and then you can have your loaf of bread or your beer, because obviously it's a festival, so I'm assuming it's beer and alcohol and food and stuff like that. So you're hey, I'll take 2 tacos. I'm all right, it'd be 13 caps. You fucking here's a stack of caps, So kind of cool. Kind of cool, fun thing to do.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if I wonder where where it's at.
I don't. It's been a couple years since I read about it, but I think it's an annual thing.
Wonder if it's anywhere nearby.
I think it's it might be in Arizona or like Nevada or something.
That'd be dope. It'd be fun to do. Just
yeah.
for the experience.
Oh yeah.
Like I've done Comic-Con and stuff. That's always fun. I've never done anything like that though. I think that'd be probably even more fun, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dude. I need to go out and start doing more hobbies.
Yeah. My hobbies basically right now are this. And hanging out with my wife and kids. Because I can't afford to do anything else.
Well, you got the sneaker thing going on still?
I haven't done anything in a long time. It's been a long time. Those shoes up there that I started building about a year ago. I started those.
Just do like one minor detail a day, and like you can still say, "Oh, you're working on it."
I know. I need to pick stuff back up.
I think you got into jarring like fruit and stuff recently too, didn't you?
Yes, I did. That's another hobby. I did apricot jam and pineapple apricot jam like a couple weekends ago. And I was supposed to go last weekend to Autumn Berry Patch and go pick blackberries, but it was like 100 and something. I was like, fuck that. I ain't going out when it's 100 something, pick
Just
berries.
Die in the fields.
Yeah. I'm like my ancestors, just dying in the fields, picking berries for other people. But I get it for myself. But no, I was thinking about going this weekend, but it's so fucking smoky. I don't want to go out really, but I probably should just do it. And we were thinking about my father-in-law. I don't know if he did or he was talking about maybe getting a box of peaches. So I was thinking about making some peach jam and stuff. I just decided to get into it just because like during the whole COVID thing, I was trying to be better prepared on how to be prepared.
Yeah.
And learn some of these skills that a lot of people just don't know or don't care to know. And obviously the stuff that I have now works better with electricity, but at least I know the concept now, so I can adapt it to having to do it without electricity.
Yeah.
You know, like they did back in the olden days, you know, with a fire. You know, if I have a pot that can water bath over a fire, you know, obviously as long as it continues rolling boil and you keep all the stuff clean, you should have no issues with keeping it for a few years.
Yeah.
Pressure canner is a little harder because you have to have it very specific. You got to keep the pressure to a certain thing for X amount of time. If it goes down or whatever, then you got to adjust it. It's kind of hard to adjust a fire. You can add stuff to it, but if it goes down too much, then it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But over like a stove top, it's a lot easier to do. But we've been doing that. It's been pretty fun. I learned a lot of stuff. My grandma's been giving me some hints and stuff, and I still haven't handled it that I need to. But, you know, I've made like blackberry jam, blueberry jam, apricot, pineapple, huckleberry, cherry. I mean, all kinds of different stuff. Then I've done like pressure canned corn, green beans, carrots, chicken breast, and a few other random things. And I've pickled stuff like pickled asparagus, pickled jalapenos, stuff like that.
That's badass, dude. You should try to think about getting your food handler's card and like a business license and see if you can like sell it at stuff like the Selah Wednesday market.
I thought about it. A few times, but I haven't yet, just because like basically everything I'm making now is in smaller batches and it's mostly for like us. But I have given stuff away. Like my friend Francisco and his wife, I believe they own Casey's Honey here based out of Yakima. I think they're the owners, or at least they work. No, I believe they're the owners. And I've been buying honey from them for a while now, just because I like local raw honey. Yeah. It helps with allergies and inflammation. It's just good for you, you know. And then I started doing trades with them, some of my canned goods for honey, which is, I love it that way because I already put money into this stuff. I might as well get some return, right?
Yeah.
And instead of having to work a couple hours to be able to make enough money to buy something that I want, why not use the money I already have or in stuff that I've invested in to trade for something that I want, you know? Yeah. So I think last time they gave me like a half gallon of honey and I traded them like different jams and different pickled items and stuff like that.
Some like 1800 style like trading.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. Even like my grandparents, your grandparents and stuff, like our grandparents and even great grandparents, they didn't have grocery stores like we have now. You know, they had like maybe a general store that may have some stuff.
You have to make everything from scratch.
You either had to make stuff from scratch or know someone that had the items and then either do work for them or, you know, trade either goods, services, or in some cases, maybe some monetary stuff like money.
Yeah.
Whatever money was available back then, whatever it may be, like coins, or because they didn't really have cash back then. They had coins, but most of those were made of precious metals. So they would trade like, hey, I got this couple of pressed coins made of silver. I'd like to buy this, you know. Well, I don't need silver. I need this. And then you're like, oh, fuck. And then you got to go find someone that has that would trade you for whatever you had. And then so it was a whole bartering
system. Take like 14
system.
hours to go buy some potatoes.
Yeah, it's a whole bartering system. So the grocery store makes it so much more convenient, but at the same time, we saw during COVID that it's very, very easy to, you know, it's very viable.
Yeah.
Or it's one of those things that can just like diminish overnight.
Yeah, they say what? Like everyone's 3 meals away from societal collapse.
Essentially.
And that, like, I love modern conveniences. Would never want to trade it away, but you also know it's also fragile. Like this, like the slightest thing can fuck it all up for everybody, and then we're all screwed because none of us know how to fucking grow food or.
Yeah, you know, and then those guys, you know, they're like, oh, we'll just go out to Weenass and talk to the farmers, and farmers like, get the fuck off my land, you know, because they know how to do all that shit. I mean, they might trade. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. I'm not those people. I don't know how they would be. But if I had a bunch of random starving people come into my house wanting to take all my food, and we're starving, you better believe it's probably going to get hostile.
Oh yeah, dude. If the apocalypse comes, most of us are fucked.
Oh yeah. Like if there's a ground zero, I would love to be right underneath it so I can just die instantly. With my family, I don't want my family to die, but if we were to die, I'd rather be instantly than, you know, a week later from starvation.
Yeah.
You know?
And then tough choices have to be made if you do live, like some morally questionable decisions probably have to be made.
Yeah. Like I've said it before, if it comes to down to my family or family eating, it's going to be my family.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to kill you or your kids or have you guys suffer. But
and I don't think that inherently make like people with that mindset. They're not inherently bad. They're just put in a position where like I have to do this to live.
I have to provide, and it's a dog eat dog world. Now, if you can gain some type of community out of that, that's even better because then you have a group of people that have each other's back, and then they have this whole morality based off their little civilization or their little group that can make those decisions together, and then it's kind of the weight is off on your shoulders alone. It's like the whole group, and then it's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have taken all their food from those people and send them on their way, but it's either us or them, right? So, but then at the same time, you can't really accept them into your society because now it's 3 or 6 or 10 more mouths to feed.
Yeah.
So, but then that guy may be a mechanic. He knows how to fix your car. That guy knows how to, you know, can foods. That guy knows how to fix clothing or do leather working or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, well, fuck, dude. So you got to have some type of, you know, system there.
And when you think about the types of people who are going to like thrive and survive in like a post-apocalyptic scenario, it's like all the people that society hates, like the conspiracy, like bunker people. It's gonna be like the hippies who like have their own organic gardens, know how to make herbal medicine. It's gonna be like the super conservative people who like collect 100 guns.
Well, some of those guys, man, that's all they have is guns.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, well, yeah, but you don't have any clean drinking water.
I'll tell you who's gonna survive. It's gonna be the homeless who like who laugh at all of us.
They already survive now,
dude. All they need to do is like gather supplies from dumpsters, like trade some precious like scavenge supplies to like some rich horse lady for some horses. All of a sudden, we have like horse tribes like gunning or like shooting people down with bows in the streets.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the people ruling all of us, dude.
The homeless guys.
So next time you see a homeless guy on the street, like give him $5 because in 20 years that might be like the local warlord.
You know, with the way society is and how crazy history has been, it wouldn't surprise me. And actually, I think that would be kind of a cool concept for like a movie.
Oh yeah, like all the look down on people of society becoming the ones who know how to actually survive and do stuff.
They're like the post-apocalyptic royalty.
Yeah, you get like some former Wall Street billionaire just looking up at some like homeless tribesman.
Please, sir, I need some food. He's like, nah, bitch, I remember you.
I remember you spitting into my cup of change.
Yeah. It's kind of a cool concept of a movie, I think, or at least a story.
Oh, for sure.
Would be cool. I don't know. It'd be kind of, wouldn't mind maybe someone a lot more talented than I making a movie out of it. I'd watch it.
As
long as it wasn't like super corny, I guess. I mean, it might.
It could be. You could have fun. It could be really campy and fun.
Yeah, you could make it fun. You could make it like into almost like a comedy.
Yeah,
you know,
it could work both ways.
It could. It could be a super like
really serious like social commentary on like the flaws of our society, or it could be like really funny.
Yeah, you got Seth Rogen, you know, being the homeless guy who's like the fucking warlord now, or whatever his laugh is. You know,
Steve Buscemi is like some disgruntled homeless warrior.
Oh yeah, yeah, all the possibilities. And who knows, man? If you believe in the multi-universe theory, that could have already happened.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm sure.
I've always thought the multi-universe theory was always kind of cool. Cool concept of an idea that all the shit that we're talking about has already happened, or us having this conversation has happened already, and it's happened different times in different ways. And there's been times where we don't even know each other.
Yeah.
Or who knows? We could be mortal enemies at one point in one reality.
Yeah. Like, God, it makes you wonder. Kind of reminds me of like, have you ever seen the movie Butterfly Effect?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you remember like at the very end, like, because he's like jumping through all these different alternate realities, like he like passes his best friend like on the street in New York, and they kind of like look at each other with like a look of recognition, and then they just keep on.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of like, if there is multiple universes, like, do we recognize like people we know in other universes on some like subconscious level? Like,
well, according to quantum theory and quantum mechanics, everything's related, everything's together, and like even like if something happens on this end of the universe, the same things happen on that end of the universe. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, at least from a scientific standpoint, and even like maybe like a spiritual standpoint, that when you see like something like a deja vu or something like that, that's because you have experienced that, but in another life or in another reality. That's kind of cool. Like a cool idea to think about. But there are times where you go into a place and you're like, oh, I feel like I've been here before, but it's your first time there.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, that could be like a past life thing too. Or you meet someone and you just instantly click with them.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like best friends. And who knows, you could have been best friends with them in another life.
Yeah, like 500 years ago or something.
Yeah, or in another reality, you guys have met years before, you know, because you're from the same group of friends or whatever, but you just have never met them until now. But, you know, in another reality, 2 years ago, you guys met and you guys really clicked, and then you're best friends now. But in this reality, you just met, and then you're like, man, we're just connected, man. We're just, fuck yeah, this is going, you know. So it's kind of cool to think about that way.
Oh yeah.
There's no way for us to prove it.
No,
not at least not now.
But it's cool to think when you're like stoned out of your gourd at like 2 p.m.
Yeah, just oh man, when I smoked weed, I loved going down the stupid little rabbit hole things in my mind, thinking about things, and I feel like at some point I'm making like this crazy epiphany, but I don't know how to articulate it, so I just say it to someone and I just sound like a freaking bumbling moron.
Or like you write it down like to the best of your ability, like, and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, what the fuck kind of schizo posting was this?
Right? It's like, yeah, it looks exactly like someone like in a mental institution would be writing down
like these like nonsensical equations.
Yeah. Like 4 equals X no matter what. It's like, what?
Secret of the universe equals 7 times 9 squared.
But you gotta think though, some of the stuff that, you know, we know nowadays as facts, like pi or like the golden ratio, could have been those schizo things back then. And now we're like, yeah, this is This is a fact.
So, like, you can't deny this, idiot. But like 200 years ago, everyone's like, this guy's retarded. This guy is full of shit.
This guy's a moron. I can't believe this dingus. This guy's trying to say that the sun, we revolve around the sun. Are you stupid?
This guy's an idiot. Kill him.
The sun revolves around us. We're the center of the universe. And now there's a whole theory about that being wrong. That we are the center of the universe because we're in a simulation. So, and every time you look out further, it's just like when you're driving down the road in a video game, nothing's there until it gets there, then it renders. So when we're looking out further or looking down further or looking with a telescope or a microscope into things further, they're just rendering because they don't need to render everything all at once.
Yeah.
And who knows? You could be the main character, and I could be an NPC, or vice versa. Or maybe we're all the main character. Maybe we're all NPCs. Have you seen Free Guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we're just self-aware NPCs, that, I mean, if you think about it, if you believe in the evolution thing, we kind of were at one point, like NPCs. And then someone did something that was a little different. And then people started questioning it. And they're like, wait, why am I questioning it? Why is he doing this? And then they start asking all these questions. And the next thing you know, gets his brain going and her brain going and their brain going. And then all of a sudden there's this evolution of thought. And now instead of following the buffalo to kill them, why don't we capture some of them, make them mate, and then eat their kids? Let's farm, instead of trying to find food and forage for food and travel, why don't we just grow it? It's evolution.
Like, I don't want to walk 30 miles for water. Just dig a well.
Yeah. Or just divert it this way, so it's closer.
Put some rocks over here, dig a little bit over here.
Yeah. And all of a sudden the little stream that we walk 15 miles to go that way, or 15 minutes, is now in our backyard. Crazy to think. Crazy thoughts. Us, we're like, duh. Duh, we do that already, And back then, they're like, what? Like, if we talk to them now, if we could communicate with them, like, why do you guys walk way over there for water? Well, that's our only water source. Well, why don't you build over there? Well, we can't build over there. Well, then why don't you bring the water over here? Wait, what? How do you do that? Just dig, and it comes this way.
Block some of the water over there and make it go this way.
Like the beavers, whatever you guys call them, they build that dam and it like fills up with water. Do that, and then just dig a trench. That's what we call it in 2024 is a trench, and then you can collect it right here. It's crazy, right? And they're like, oh my god.
My God, this changes everything.
And that comes back to the whole alien intervention. Like, we were dumb, and then all of a sudden, we know things. All of a sudden, we start writing out of nowhere. We start reading out of nowhere. We start using tools out of nowhere. We start farming out of nowhere.
They just come down and like, why aren't they materializing food in their stomachs? Are they stupid?
Yeah, they come down and like, look at these dumbasses. They're chasing that buffalo. You guys know you can just grow buffalo, right?
There's labs for that.
Yeah. Dummies. No, it's crazy. But you got to think, like, when we look at, say, like, maybe a tribe down that's uncontacted or maybe minimal contact with, like, modern society, and we look at them and they're so backwards. They're so third world or whatever.
God, do you hear about that Amazon tribe, or that, I don't know if it's in the Amazon, but it was some, tribe that has some, like, interaction with the modern world. But they do things traditionally, like they hunt traditionally with like spears and stuff. They gather water. So recently they got their hands on some drones, and like they hunt with drones now. And like some of the tribes have gotten phones, and the ones that do, like the tribes have like kind of a problem. Like all their young tribe members have become addicted to like porn and shit.
Oh yeah, I read about that.
And like phone games. Like I don't want to build this hut right now. I'm almost level 98 in Candy Crush.
Right.
I'll go kill that buffalo later.
Yeah, it's basically almost like put a damper on their society that they've had going for however many years, how many thousands of years maybe. And all of a sudden they get Starlink and phones, and they're like, I can do it. I can do what? What is this? Boobs?
Like, why would you want to go 30 miles to go collect water when you can just watch Mia Khalifa take some back shots for half an hour?
Right. Yeah, and obviously, if you Google that or whatever, then it comes up with a bunch of different things saying like, it's false or whatever, the Snopes or whoever it is doing their fact checking thing. But I mean, whether it's true or not, the fact of the matter is even if it's not real, we know that is exactly what would happen if someone like that was exposed to the modern conveniences now. Yeah. They would lose all touch with their reality, and then they would forget just within a few generations of how to survive.
Oh, yeah.
So, because if you had kids like that, and then they had kids, and they grew up on internet and, being able to watch TikTok videos all day or whatever, and then they say the internet shuts down all of a sudden, and they're like, "Oh fuck, what are we doing?
I can't order DoorDash anymore."
Yeah, and it's like, I gotta go kill food. How? How do I kill food? What do you mean kill food? Doesn't my food come dead already? So it's like those people that think, "Oh, why would you go kill a cow? Why don't you just go buy meat at the grocery store?" And it's like, because it's the same thing, except I know where my cow's at. Your meat came from some plant, with really shitty living circumstances for the animals, where mine, he grows up in a pasture.
Exactly.
And he's been petted his entire life. And he even has a name. His name's Ben. And Ben's fucking delicious. Fuck Ben. I love Ben.
I love Ben. I love him even more in my burger.
Yeah, he's delicious with sauce. A nice peppercorn sauce.
Nice red wine reduction.
Oh, yeah. Ben's delicious.
Pour one out for our homie Ben.
Yeah. Ben, I love you. I don't know if anybody named Ben listening. It's not you. It's the cow.
It might be you next.
You might be it. But it's Ben the cow is the one I love. Or Mary. Isn't it females? Or it's usually females that they butcher, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ben Gina.
Ben Gina, all the Bessies of the world.
Bessie, Marie, Yolanda. Yolanda the cow. If your name's Yolanda and you're listening and you're a cow, hit me up. DM me. Slide into my DM. I will eat you, girl. So, fuck, man. Oh, shit. 2 hours. So, get ready to wrap up here. Let's see if I can think of anything. We've just been going off stupid tangents forever. Have you thought about doing anything else, like with your skill set that you have, maybe outside of just publication, when it comes to, like, say, writing for like a paper? Have you thought about maybe writing like a book or doing screenplay or anything like that?
I'm actually working on a couple different books.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I'm kind of an off and on, like writing is a serious hobby of mine, but I have to be in like kind of the mood to do it. I've been forcing myself to write a little bit every day, just to make sure I have that like discipline built up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved fiction. I've always loved fantasy. So I have like a fantasy novel that I'm like probably 26,000 words into writing right now.
Damn.
Oh yeah. And I also want to kind of try my hand at like going to open mic, seeing if would be any good at stand up.
I remember that. I remember we were talking about that.
Oh yeah.
No. I know. I when you asked me about finding my shit, none of it's on my phone. I don't know where it's at.
Start again. Just start new, dude.
Oh, dude, no.
Dude, why not?
I'm not funny.
You can be. I worked with you. You were funny every day at Ray's.
But it's like me and you having a conversation, or me and a couple people having a conversation is one thing. But standing in front of a bunch of random people, I don't know.
It's intimidating, and it takes work to write. But
yeah,
I've been writing jokes every day for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a favorite joke that you have that you can tell?
A lot of it is a little edgier, but
you could. This is rated X on this bitch, dude. You can say whatever you want, if you want to. If you don't have to, I'm not trying to force you to do anything.
Just off the top of my head, I'm off the spot now, but I grew up in a multiracial family. Like my dad's Filipino, Samantha, you know her. She's like Chinese and Vietnamese. Mm-hmm. You'd think growing up in a multiracial family would like teach you that stereotypes are wrong, but really all it's done is kind of reinforce them. Like Samantha, she's the worst driver and navigator I know. It almost makes you wonder if Pearl Harbor was an accident.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, that's dark. I love it. Yeah, it's a good one. Have you told Sam that one?
Not yet.
Do you think she would love it or hate it?
I think she would laugh.
Yeah.
Might also beat me.
That's fucking funny.
Got a bunch of journalist stories too. Like my boss Adam, shout out to my boss Adam Smith at the Selah Journal. He was like, because I don't know how to drive, and he's always telling me, "Oh, Michael, I can teach you how to drive." He was telling me this like one time when he was dropping off my check at our house. He was like, "I'm a really good driver, Michael. I can teach you everything I know." And then as he's fucking leaving, the fucker backs over our mailbox and like bends it like 90 degrees this way. Just doesn't even address it. Just drives off.
Fuck, dude. What's his name?
Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. You owe them a mailbox.
It's fine. Bend it back. It's fine. But Adam's cool. I love Adam. But
yeah. That's fucking funny.
I remember,
just right when he tells you that he's a good driver, and then he just destroys your property with his vehicle.
I was almost out of his skin. I couldn't believe my eyes.
You're like, is he fucking with me?
Is this a bit?
Yeah, that's not a real mailbox. That's not a real mailbox, is it? Oh fuck. That's hilarious. You put a joke mailbox out there just for shits and gigs and ran it over, just to tell you that he was a good. That'd be funny, dude, if he did all that shit. It's even funnier, though, that he tells you such a great driver he is, and then just destroys your personal and federal property.
Dude's a character. I love my boss. I think he's from New Orleans, so he has kind of this way of speaking. He's almost like a character out of a sitcom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's really fun to work with.
Be fun to get him on, maybe.
Oh, dude, he has stories to tell.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have to get me in contact with them. It'd be fun.
I'll definitely give
and you guys can even come on together if you wanted to.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because I have 3 mics. I mean, shit. Yeah. I can always have 2 people on. I've had 2 people on before.
Yeah, the
PNW pack.
Yeah. Those guys were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. I worked with Logan, and then the first time I met his buddy, Jerry. Yeah, cool people, man. They're cool people. Yeah, Logan's a funny dude. So you're writing. You said you're writing 2 books right now.
Yeah,
2 books, both fiction, fantasy.
Yeah, one's fantasy and one is sci-fi. Kind of.
Oh, okay, cool. Is that something like maybe you would like to do, like as a thing, or
it's something
is it more like a hobby, and then.
The way I like approach like my like hobbies, like my writing and my like aspiration to try stand up, like I don't have any expectations for it. Like I think with stuff like that, you kind of have to love it, and you don't do it for like the hope that you make any money off of it.
Yeah.
Like if you love it enough and you pursue it enough, maybe that happens for you. And if so, great. But there's also tons of like musicians and stand up artists and like authors whose only recognition is within their immediate area.
Yeah.
And that's enough for them because they do it for the love of the game.
That's like me, dude. I'm not doing this for any monetary value or gain. I mean, if it turns into that, sure.
Then awesome, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. But I'm doing it just for fun.
Yeah, and that is ultimately the type of people who do succeed in whatever their chosen industry or hobby is.
I hope so. Yeah, and I'm not hoping to turn this platform into something that I can. I mean, it'd be great if it did, where I can like quit my job and do this full time. But I'd rather I'm doing this more for like. The experience
and the fulfillment aspect
of it. And then just to like give everyday people like you and I a voice that, there's how many thousands of people in Yakima, Selah, this whole area?
I think Yakima has like a population of almost 100,000 people.
Yeah.
All of those people have a story. All of them have a little bit of wisdom to share.
Yeah. And if you think of the whole Yakima County, I mean, or even just the area, if you took, 20 miles in every direction, that's a lot of people. And they all have something to say. They all have something to joke about or laugh about or cry about. They all have a voice. And I'm doing this to give people that platform. No judgment. I mean, the audience might judge, sure, whatever. But I won't. Even if we don't see eye to eye on certain things, But I think it's fun. I think it's fun. And I try to make it as chill as possible.
Yeah, it's just a nice, cool, relaxed atmosphere. You know,
Yeah.
having fun with some either friends or people you're meeting for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's 2 people that I've had on my podcast that I've met for the first time. Joseph Mitchell and then Jerry Tatum from PNW Pack. For both times, first time meeting them.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's kind of cool, you know, meeting people. Like, obviously, you and I have some history together, and some of the
Yeah.
people that I had on had a history together. So, you know, we have some things that we can talk about. It's a little harder when we don't. I don't know much about them.
But that can be kind of a cool, interesting experience in itself. Like getting to know someone like right away and like hearing their story and kind of navigating the conversation like without any kind of preconceived notions or yeah.
Because if I get someone that I get on and they're always funny, then I have this idea that it's just going to be like a funny show, and it may be, or who knows, it may turn into serious, and then it's kind of like, for me, it feels kind of out of place, out of character, but they're just funny, you know, in certain settings, and then they're always serious usually, you know, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I think this is fun just to do. I really wish my wife could get on with me, because it's technically supposed to be her and I doing interviews.
She's here in spirit.
With people. She's here in spirit, but she, you know, we have a almost 2-year-old, and he demands a lot of attention. So eventually, she'd like to get on more and do more stuff, but it's just really hard with a almost 2-year-old.
Oh yeah.
You know,
family obligations always have to come first.
Yeah. My 5-year-old, he would be okay by himself for like maybe half an hour. And then he'd come in and like, Dad, are you almost done? Do you look at this, look what I did. Da, 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 da. And I don't want to drop off my kids at my in-laws or my parents, you know, just drop them off for a few hours. I mean, obviously they would probably love that, but I'm just not that type of person. It's just, you know, drop my kids off and like, here you go, have fun. You know, see you in a few hours.
The business mogul lifestyle where you don't raise your own kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard with single family. That's just single parents, because my mom was a single mom, and my brother and I, as much as we could, you know, we were home, but then, you know, my mom had to work. Someone had to provide. So we like went to daycare. We went to school and then daycare. So it's kind of shitty. Yeah.
And absolutely nothing wrong with like people who are in positions to like have to or can do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we all have different ways of raising our kids. And
yeah. There's some people that, you know, they have kids.
I say as if I have a kid.
No, but you have a brain. you have your logic standpoint in your head, and then you know that, you know, that's how some people are. Yeah. Everybody's different. But like me, I don't like being away from my kids as often. My wife, like, she likes if she had to choose between doing something and being with her kids, she'd rather be with the kids. And so would I. I enjoy hanging out with my kids. My kids are my life. I love them. They make me laugh. They make me cry. They make me fucking pull my hair out. But I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Yeah, they're always going to be the coolest, funniest, bestest people you know.
Mom, Xander, when he tells me, Dad, you're my best friend, I'm like, bro, my heart, it's breaking. It's breaking, but it's melting at the same time.
Have to suck back in a tear.
Yeah, fucking sucking it back in. Fucking, what was that movie? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. He's just like, get back in there, tear. But yeah, it's really fulfilling. And I, obviously not having kids is for everyone, but it's definitely for me. Yeah. Yeah. Families.
It's a brave thing to have kids in an uncertain world.
Especially nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was a time that seemed pretty chill, like basically between like the 70s and the 90s. It seemed pretty okay. I mean, there was some conflict going on, but now it's like, it's in your face everywhere. Yeah.
But I also think, too, that, like, a lot of the problems we have are, like, amplified and made to seem more common than they are because of, like, you know, the 24-hour news cycle and the tendency of news organizations to focus on negative stories since they get the most clicks and engagement.
Well, of course, you know.
The fear is profitable, and it's getting shoved in our faces all the time, and it makes
fear and sex. Yeah. Those are the two most profitable things in the world.
Oh, by far, always have been. Yeah. And I think it makes us forget, you know, that for all the bad in the world, too, there's a lot of good. Like,
there's tons of good.
Like, we are probably in the most, like, secure, like, and safe time frame to have ever existed in human history. Yeah. Like, we're not getting our heads beheaded, like, chopped off on the top of pyramids.
Yeah. You know. We're not being sacrificed to the rain god. We're not, you know, going through some type of famine.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a king that just doesn't like us, wants to kill us or put us in the stocks.
Even look at the past like 50 years. Like crime rates in the 70s were like an all-time high, and now like it's some of the lowest we've had in the history of this nation.
Yeah, and so, obviously there's still crime, but
of course, like
it's in highly concentrated areas, and they, you know, where there's a lot of people, there's going to be more conflict.
Yeah, and like even for as high statistically as our gun violence is compared to other countries, like it's still a very like most people are gonna go their whole life without even seeing a gun flashed or like so
I see them because I shoot them and collect them and whatever.
We're both proud of gun owners.
Yeah, exactly. But there's plenty of people out there that don't want anything to do with firearms, and that's fine.
Yeah, and that's totally okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Just don't come to me when you need help. Just like I've seen a sticker that says, "Yes, it's my pickup truck. No, I won't help you move."
I mean, if I can be the next homeless tribal chieftain, maybe I'll do it. I'll help him.
I'd vote for you. I'd vote for you as long as you don't have me beheaded.
Don't worry. All my favorite people are going to be in the palace with me.
Our palace made of cardboard. Or the underpass.
My kingdom.
My kingdom is right here off 40th under this overpass.
Just showing your son like First Street. One day all this will be yours.
It's like, what is this?
Prostitutes just like beating people with their purses and garbage on the floor.
They're your front line, the prostitutes.
Dude, that actually happened. I had my friend Levi drive to pick me up to go because we're going to a wedding, and like it was his first time driving through Yakima. Mm-hmm. He drove through. We were driving through First Street, and literally, like the first thing he sees in Yakima is just a prostitute beating a man with her fucking purse. and I saw the look on his face. I didn't see him again in person for like another 4 years after that. Yeah. Thanks, Yakima.
You're like, yeah, that's just a typical day down here on First Street. Nothing crazy. That happens every Thursday.
He was like, what the fuck?
Same people.
Didn't even faze me. I was like, see the shit like that every day.
Yeah. Well, I work off of 5th, so I drive from Selah into Yakima off that road, and then hop over to 5th. So I literally drive by every day into work when I leave my work with my work truck, back in to drop off my truck, and then when I leave home. I drive by it 4 times every day. Well, 4 days out of the week because I work 4 tenths. So I see it, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck is it? Sometimes I'm just like, you know, what the fuck's going on? And then some days it's like, it doesn't surprise me. This shit's crazy, but it doesn't surprise me anymore.
Yeah, it's just gonna be numb to it. It's like living in GTA.
Yeah, you see guys. I saw a guy the other day. What was it? It was yesterday, actually, Friday, and I was with my coworker Patrick. He was riding with me, and we were driving. And there's a guy with no legs in a wheelchair, leaned back, chugging a fucking high gravity beer.
My God, what a Chad, dude!
And see, we left at like 6:15 in the morning. So this is about 6:15, 6:30 in the morning, and this guy just knocking back a high gravity. And I'm like, that guy ain't got shit to do today. Obviously.
It's not like he's going to walk anywhere.
Right. He ain't got shit to do. And I feel bad for some of those people. Some of them are there because they're down on their luck, or they have some type of mental disorder, or maybe have an addiction. And some of those people, you know, obviously they don't want to be there. And some of them don't care. They're just there because whatever. They'd rather do this than have to pay taxes and work all day. They can just get high every day. Fuck yeah.
I mean,
eventually it'll
might be better than staying inside all day just depressed. At least you're getting your exercise, right?
Yeah, and the sunlight. Some of those guys got fucking killer tans.
Living the nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah.
They walk everywhere. They're fit. That's why they're the people who's going to take over when shit gets.
And they know where to find food.
Yeah,
they know how to find food. They know what water to drink.
They know where all like the copper like pipes and stuff are.
Yeah, they know where all the new construction buildings are with the copper wire. Shit. So, all right. Well, we're getting pretty close. So, I guess we'll just kind of wrap up here. Do you have any like social media or anything like that you want to plug, or any, I don't know, anything you want to plug at all, or not? I mean, you don't have to.
No personal, like maybe later in the future, I'll like once I try stand up, I'll obviously encourage people to show up. Hopefully, you'll show up and cheer me on.
Yeah, of course.
Break through the awkward silence of me bombing on
I'll
stage.
be the one guy clapping. Woo!
Dude, I'm gonna fill all the empty seats with my friends. It's gonna be like North Korea when Kim Jong-un enters the stage.
All the people just clapping, just in support, not because. No, we all obviously like you, but just in support as well. But it's cool because like that will kind of like just maybe get more people that may be in the same area like involved. Yeah. So
I will shout out my employers though. If you guys know any new businesses opening, like any new events coming to town, either Yakima, Selah, or Toppenish, just please hit up like the Selah Journal, the Yakima Valley Business Times. They will love to highlight your new business, and they'll bring you customers. I promise. They're good people to work with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty much in every place around here. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's some places, but very few businesses I've gone into and not seen a Yakima Business Times or a Selah, or especially in Selah, like the Selah Times or whatever. So
Yes.
There's not very many places that I haven't seen those. So obviously it goes around. People read them. People look at them. So it's a good way to get out. And yes, I know it's paper, but people still read paper material,
especially in small towns like this one.
Yeah.
I think the Yakima Valley Business Times has like between 25,000 like consistent readers. So people who
so that's 20 to 25,000 potential customers.
And every new business that I've written a story on, they've always like emailed me back and said like, oh, like this article like brought in tons of new business. Like, thank you so much. Like, I promise you guys, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And the articles themselves, like, they don't cost anything for you to do. You don't have to pay anything for the article. If you want
free advertisement.
If you want to pay for advertising in the paper, you can, but the article is free and you have nothing to lose from it and a lot to gain.
Yeah. And if you guys are listening and you are a business owner or know someone and you want to reach out to Mike, you can always, in my show notes, there's a text message. You can send me a text message. I can reach out to him for you. You can also email us at thecatchallpod@gmail.com. It's in the show links as well. And then maybe with Mike's permission, I can maybe put his email in there, or even just the email or the contact information for the little papers that he works for to help get you guys in contact with them so you can promote your business for free. I mean, why not?
Why not?
So, and on that, anything else that you want to bullshit before we go?
Off the top of my head.
All right, man. Well, shit, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it again sometime.
I would love to.
And get your boss on here. Let's do it.
Oh, dude.
Let's talk some shit.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, cool, man.